The time is almost here for us to once again fight the forces of the dark side with our trusty saber. Oh, and also a lot of storage. Let's talk about it. Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 45 for this, the first week of April 2023. As always, I'm your host, Mike Z, and joining me once again, every time, all the time, the Birdman himself, Logan B.
What is up, everybody? Welcome. Exciting day. You guys could probably tell, sound quality's a little bit better, I would hope. And maybe I'm looking a little bit better. Well,
You still look like ass.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So this will be technically the first episode of me actually having a full-blown PC. So, yeah. Oh, if it does sound any better, comment down below, I guess. But yeah, exciting week. A lot of news to get to. I've had a pretty good week. Some gaming went down. I surprisingly, I did way less than what Mike did, at least from what I could tell. So we'll be getting into that too. And yeah, I don't know. I've had a pretty good week. I'm feeling pretty good today for once. I actually don't feel like sick or anything. I'm feeling just great. So what about you, Mike? How was your week?
It was absolutely awful.
Really?
Yeah, I may have done a lot, but it was mostly the weekend. So, like we talked about last week, on last week's episode, I went up to that man's house and put together his PC. It was...
Yeah, well...
a trying experience, alright?
It was a lot longer than we expected. I'll definitely say that.
I mean...
I definitely think the biggest problem was mainly Windows 11. I think that's literally our biggest problem.
Just that one
literally
update.
Everything else went smooth sail.
Just that one update, man.
Dude, that update was terrifying.
I looked at both my laptop and my computer, and that update's ready to go. I just have taken it off the dock. I'm like, don't even, just ignore that. We'll deal with this later. But yeah, overall, the actual putting together the components and all that went fairly well. Did a decent job of, like, you know, cable management and other stuff like that. Didn't really have any hiccups at all. And then once we booted it up, once we got it all put together and posted, everything decided to just go wrong at every single point in time. The copy of Windows 11 that I brought, I actually screwed that up, but we got that fixed fairly well. And then I spent about 4 hours, probably about 3, getting Windows to actually run properly. And I don't want to dive into it, but I eventually figured it out. And yeah, it sucks.
It was literally the longest part, I feel like, of the entire build.
Oh, by far.
Was literally, which was funny because that should have been the smooth sail part, the part that I was the least worried about.
No.
And then it ended up being our biggest problem.
Software is always so much more difficult than hardware. Hardware, I kept telling you, it's really not that bad. You just got to know where some of the connectors are. You plug things in, you do it in the right order, and then you screw it all down and you plug it in and you turn the power on. Software is always a hiccup. I still struggle with software every now and then. I turn my computer on and something's not right, and usually a good reset or two fixes it, but your computer wasn't having any of that. Your computer was not fixing itself and not planning on fixing itself anytime soon. So,
but I will definitely tell you that isn't the end of my software problems too, but it's not as big as when we built it. Like, Bluetooth? For example, I couldn't see my CPU temperatures anymore through Adrenaline after you left. That just disappeared. The feature was just gone. And then recently I updated to a new driver and it's back. So
you don't do that. But that's
I don't know what happened.
That's also why I installed Hardware Monitor. The CPIUD. Yeah. That does a much better job. It's just you know, A&D has the built-in like FPS monitor. By the way, did the FPSs ever pop back up for you?
Yeah, no, it seems to be if I don't have it in full screen mode, the game, it doesn't show the FPS. So I had to put it in full screen mode and it just fixes itself. So
Why are you playing
Yeah,
games
it
that
works.
windowed?
No, it was like if it says window, not the window, it's windowless, whatever it's
Oh
called.
yeah. Well,
It's
there's
the
windowed,
middle,
windowless.
whatever.
So yeah, just play it in full screen,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, I usually do, but I just
No reason
like
not
it
to.
it disappeared. It also one day wasn't working even in full screen. Like when I see that message, it wasn't working in full screen, but then it just started working after I switched it back. I haven't had that problem again. The only other problem is the fact that my controllers won't connect to my PC unless I use USB, which I've looked up everything. There's no such fix for this problem. Like everyone just says, all you gotta do is just hold the button, hold this little, so here, this like this. You hold this button, which I know this. I've had an Xbox, and you wait till it does the fast blinking. You go to your Bluetooth. You go to the same it's like the top one where it says controllers and etc. etc. You click on it and nothing. I've tried it with my Xbox. I've tried it with my PlayStation 5 controller. Nothing works. I don't know why. I'm gonna guess maybe my motherboard doesn't have, I don't know, just doesn't want to work with it. I don't know. I'm not sure. If so, then I mean, cool. Then that's the problem. I just want to note that's the problem, and if I had to get a Bluetooth connector or something like that. But if I use USB, it works perfectly fine. It's flawless. The only other problems is the annoying game launcher problems I've had, where I've had to do a whole freaking crap ton of things. So I got EA and Ubisoft set up now because I'm going to download a few games and try them out. And with Game Pass, they've added a lot of games on there that I want to play. Like I downloaded Battlefront 2, which was kind of difficult to get set up because I don't remember my EA or Ubisoft logins, so I had to do a whole new login process and figure that all out. But now everything's working flawlessly. I mean, like, I'll talk more about it, I guess, when we get to the rundown about some of the games I played. But I gotta say, pretty amazing. My mind is blown, and there's a lot of games I've tried out within this week. That's why I haven't really been doing a lot. I've mainly been trying out games on the PC. But yeah, I didn't mean to. I don't know if I cut you off. Now I'm kind of forgot. But
No, you're good.
how was
But
your week other than I guess the? Well, yeah, what was wrong with your week? I don't
so
think you ever said it.
yeah, I had a little bit of struggles with the PC, which was annoying because I didn't get to my house as early as I was planning. But I knew I couldn't just leave and be like, all right, well, figure it out, Logan. Because no offense, I don't think you would have figured it out. your
That's
computer,
true.
your
That is
computer
very
was
true. I would.
your computer was stuck in a boot loop for about 40 minutes, which was super fun. But then
And now we
so
have this bad boy right here. Let's see if it gets. Come on, baby.
it's just a
In my
boot
hand.
drive.
Yeah, wait. I got this. Yeah, that right there. That's the savior of the whole day right there. I know it got flipped around, so probably it's the wrong way,
Turns
but
out
whatever.
that's the one we should have used.
Oh, really?
The Windows 10 boot drive would have been a lot more simple, but
Yeah,
whatever.
probably.
But anyway,
Uh,
so got to the house a little later than I planned, but it's no big deal. Got up the next day. Um, had my sister's baby shower to go to, which that all was pretty fun. And that's the first time I've ever gone to a baby shower. I was one of
really?
only two guys there, so that was interesting. I was there, and then her husband was there. My dad was like, "Oh, I got stuff to do." So my dad's a real man's man, so he didn't go to the baby shower.
That's fair.
But right before that, um, my dad and I were working on my car, just checking it, make sure
Did you figure out the AC leak problem?
Oh no, that's just there's an overflow, and I got
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We did get that fixed. You did. There's a drain that we think okay, so there's this drain pipe that drains out all the AC fluid, and all cars have that. But mine has
Mhm.
this like 90-degree bend, and we think there might be something stuck up in there. But we got it to drain out, but over time it'll probably come back. But then as we were getting ready to be done, kind of cleaning things up and fixing it, I told my dad, I'm like, yeah, so I've been experiencing this kind of, I guess in computer terms, latency with the acceleration. Like I go to accelerate and it over revs and then derevs. So he jumped in, checked it out. He ran up the road, came back down, pulled in. I was like, hey, so we all good? And he said, nope, your clutch is going out.
Oh,
So
boy.
now I got to fix the
Yeah.
clutch in my car. So I'm actually driving my dad's not old, it's 2007, but it's like the working farm truck kind of. So I drove back to that. I drove that back down here, and now I'm just waiting for the guy to fix my car, and then I got to drive back up and back down to get my car. So,
jeez.
hopefully it's not too bad, but it definitely put the PC upgrade on hold, considering this will probably cost the same amount that would have. So, whatever.
Well, at least you figured it out.
Adulthood, right?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, other than that, so there was the computer thing, which I didn't mind too much because I got to kind of flex my knowledge and test my own knowledge about computers, and I thought I did fairly well. I was trying out a lot of stuff. You know, I delved into the BIOS on your motherboard, helped me learn a little bit about the Asus or Asus or whatever you want to call it, BIOS setup. So I think I did fairly well with diagnosing and figuring out problems. I was stuck there for a little bit, but I just was like, hopefully it fixed it. And I don't even think it's my fault. It's Microsoft's fault for not putting the ability or taking away the ability to boot into safe mode in Windows 11. Because normally I would just boot into safe mode, back off the update that screwed everything up, and then reload in, which is what the computer eventually did. I just had to figure out how to get the computer to do that. So,
especially with the problem that Windows 11 is pretty known at this point to have a lot of issues still. And for them not to have any kind of safe boot is really dumb. Like, I may not know a lot about PC stuff, but I'm like, I do know about Windows 11 having a lot of problems, which a lot of people are probably like, then why did you do Windows 11? Which, I mean, I agree with Mike. It's not really that, it's not going to like hinder my performance that much. I mean, trust me, I'll be explaining some of the games I played. Trust me, it isn't hindering the performance in any way. But still, it does suck because like it was kind of terrifying and it was annoying. That was probably the most annoying part of the entire PC build thing, was just the fact that update completely broke the PC and it wouldn't let us boot up. And
I still have no clue
I was
what
terrified.
happened.
I remember Mike just being like, he was just like, turn it off, turn it back on, and then it would just keep doing the same thing over and over again. But I haven't had that problem again, and trust me, I check for Windows updates all the time now just to make sure, but it's still the same one, the preview update, which I need to look that up. Is that like a widespread issue, that update? I wonder.
I tried to look some stuff up, but I couldn't really find anything too much. But like I said, it doesn't make any sense. I've never seen a preview update. Normally they just come out with like the updates, so... Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that one. I'm sure someone listens to this, if they know a little bit more about Windows software and all that, they could be like, "Oh, you dumbasses! All you had to do was hit H." Well, I didn't know that. So, but anyway, all right. Rest of the week went fine. Got back home. Although driving a truck, way worse on gas mileage.
I guarantee.
I filled it up about halfway on the way back home. $68. I'm like, whew. Yes, jeez. That's awesome. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this week's show. I got an interesting question for you this week, Mr. Birdman, and that question simply is this. What are some of your all-time favorite sounds in video games? This can be anything from a soundbite to anything. I didn't want to put in like songs, just like sound bites and like, you know, different effects, sounds, and other things of the like. That's kind of where I was going with this question. So I have one queued up if you want to hear it. This is my number one sound of all time. And,
sure, go on.
All right. Hopefully an ad doesn't play, but
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, no, that's a classic.
I mean, yeah, that's a classic. I mean, I remember in college, you'd be walking around the dorm and you hear that coming from someone's room and you just instinctively like, oh, what are they playing? Is it Madden? Is it, back in the day, college basketball? Yeah.
I wish it never got, dude, that should have never gone away. It was so good. It's literally such a 2000s sound. Like, it's so good. I love it. I think it played with everything, right? Or no, it did play with all their games.
Oh yeah, it did for the longest time.
Did he even play with Medal of Honor?
No, well not the sports games.
No, it's
EA
definitely sports. Yeah. I don't know.
It played with all those sports games, but I mean, I think up until the early 2010s, I think maybe Madden 13 or something. Whenever they went to PS4 and Xbox One is when they stopped doing that. But yeah, no, it's classic. It brings back so many memories. Just the Sports. It's in the game. It's so good. It's one of the best sound bites of all time. It's sad to see what those sports games have come to, even though I think the rest of EA is doing fairly well in comparison to some of
Mhm.
the other people out there, Ubisoft. But every single week, man, I gotta throw it in there. It's now a
Yeah.
thing. Every single week we have to talk shit about Ubisoft. But all right, give me one. Talk to me about one of your favorite sound bites.
I wish I
or-
had my phone right now because now I kind of would do the same. But okay,
I planned
so I
it.
have I know two right now. I'm gonna be thinking of the third one while we're going through this. First one is, dude, one of this sound is so just satisfying to me. It's the Black Ops 3 loading screen sound. It's boo-doom 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 boo-doom. I wish I could. I'm gonna get my phone, but yes, that's one of my favorite. I love that sound effect. I don't know why, but it's so satisfying. Even though Black Ops 3 isn't like one of my favorite Call of Duties, that sound effect, dude, was so cool. I don't know what it is. It's like boo doo boo doo.
Now, Black
If
Ops
you don't
3 is Black Ops 3 is one of
let me find my phone.
my highest played Call of Duties. So, I mean that rings a little true to me. So, I don't remember it actually. Now that I'm talking about it, so I don't really remember what you're talking about. But I understand like the idea. I realize I'm talking to nobody, and this is weird. I'm
I
just
can hear
talking
you.
I know you can hear me,
I
but
have my headphones on.
I'm
Don't worry.
talking to an empty chair. So,
Black Ops.
oh, by the way, while we have a little delay, I think it's a good time to talk about all the little setups we have going on here. So I have a combination of some PSP stuff, a couple of my games I have, and then the OG PSP and some Star Wars stuff, because both of those things we will be talking about a little bit today. Logan's got also a couple of his Star Wars things put up. Hey, is your pop? Well, you haven't opened it, but is your a bobblehead? Because mine's a bobblehead.
Yep. It's and it's from Target too. The Target exclusive.
I have no clue where I bought mine from. So, but
Dude, I wanted that one, but I couldn't find it, and
really,
I love that one so much.
Peyton got it for me. One of the maybe my mom got it for me. I don't know. Somebody got it for me. I don't remember. But what? Do you have your soundbite intro
I think
thing
so. Wait.
pulled up?
Come on. Dang. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not gonna go keep us on a whole quiet thing here, but look up Black Ops 3. I think it's like a loading screen sound, and it's like this, it's just like this tune where it's like boom, 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 boom. That's the best way to describe it. But it's so satisfying. It's easily, for some reason, it sticks with me till this day. It's like one of my favorite sounds. I just love it. It's
All
so
right.
good.
Here is my second one, and this is less about an individual game and more about just the same sound effect, while they can be different per game. The same sound effect gets me every single time. So here you go. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Wait, it did go through.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Didn't even want to pick it up. So good, the noise compression, that he didn't even pick that up at all.
Anyway, it's a shotgun. Shooting a shotgun in video games is just amazing. More specifically,
Yes.
the one I played was the Doom shotgun.
Yes.
The OG Doom shotgun. Even in the new one, the new Dooms have like this metallic ring to them. I love the shotgun in Dooms.
Dude, especially, I think one of my favorites is Halo 3 shotgun or Halo 2. It's like, or whatever. It's like this really loud, bombastic sound. It's so freaking good, dude. Yeah, I agree. Almost I would say 90% of games with their shotguns, they always have the most satisfying sound.
I will say, if especially in any sort of shooter, whether that be first or third person, if the shotgun doesn't sound good, I'm not playing.
Yeah,
I'm just not doing it.
It has to be satisfying, no matter what.
One of the best sounding shotguns actually is in one of the not best first person shooters. You ever play Rage back in the day, the old id game?
I played a little bit of it on the 360.
That shotgun's so good, dude. But yeah,
Really?
Doom, pretty much id shotguns. Id shotguns are like childhood. You got Doom, Wolfenstein, original. Then you got some Rage stuff in there. Even Rage 2 has a good shotgun noise, but more specifically, I'm talking about, obviously, we've been playing Resident Evil 4. Dude, the shotguns are so good. And, I mean, they're very unrealistic in how much damage they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
Because shotguns just don't act like that. But, man, you bump that out, If you bust that out and you pull off a couple rounds, you are just people are losing limbs. They're getting cut in half. There's like
Dude,
gaps
Resident
missing.
Evil shotguns have always been like the most
it's
just
so
like
good.
you pull that out, you mean business at
Yeah,
that point, dude.
it's so
You're
good.
blowing anyone in your way out, just done. They're dead.
All right.
But
And
so
I'm
my
gonna...
next
go ahead.
go on.
No. Go.
So my next one is so from the new Battlefront 2015 game, one of the most satisfying sounds that still sticks with me to this day is the it's a certain grenade that you throw, and it makes this like nuclear sound. It's like it makes this like really. It sounds like a nuke's going off when you throw it. It's some kind of detonator. I can't remember what it is. I think it's like the same detonator that I think either Django Vet or something like that uses, and it's like super. Just like this, the noise is unbelievably satisfying. I wish I could play it again, but I don't know how to really do it. And also, I forgot that literally my phone is connected to these headphones, so it's not gonna play anyways unless I completely take it off.
I will say, if we were
look
talking
up
about
Battlefront 2015 detonator sound, and it is the most impressive noise. It's so good, dude. I love it. It's like the most satisfying explosion noise in gaming, in my opinion.
Yeah, like outside of games here, this isn't my third one. I have a third one, but outside of games, it's the Django Fett.
Yes.
You know, the space battle.
That's the noise.
Okay,
I think that's the noise. Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Dude, it's one of the best sound effects of all time, regardless of what medium we're in. But all right, my third one, my last one. I'm gonna try to do this with my mouth, which is a weird sentence, but Boobaliga.
Wow, what is that from?
Boobaliga. Oh, it's so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
so good. And again, it is classic beyond classic. That and EA Sports like detailed the early part of my gaming childhood outside of Final Fantasy and things like that. But yeah, the EA Sports and the freaking Boobaliga mask, some of the best sound effects there have ever been in gaming. I realize now none of mine are from like modern games, which I guess the shotguns. I guess the shotguns.
I've had a few.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I think my last one, dude, it has to be my favorite of all time. It's such a classic. Halo's shield regen sound.
Oh.
Like that. Yeah. Dude, it's so good. It's so iconic. And in every game, if they don't have it, it just doesn't sound right. It's the most perfect, like, just, I don't know. It's just so satisfying when you hear that. It's so good. Yeah. I don't have much more to say other than I love it. That's the one thing that literally the Halo show did right, was putting that sound effect in there.
Well, that's good, I guess.
But the only good thing.
Last of Us got the clicker sound, right? So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time, this is a very side tangent, but when I was originally playing The Last of Us, so back in like 2013, 2014, I had that as my ringtone, my notification, the clicker sound.
Yeah.
And I was playing the game, and I was in a clicker section of the game, and my phone went off. Scared the piss out of me, dude. Because it was so much louder than the things that were happening in game. I freaked out. I was like, what the fuck was that? And I freaked out, and I paused the game because it sounded like they were like literally in the same room as me, because they were just in real life. And I was, that's one of my favorite. I think Eric was there for that, and we both lost our shit on that one. That was fun. But, all right. Well, I tried to mute myself for some reason.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week, so you can listen to it whenever you want. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here on the XP Podcast, please go over to our Patreon and give us some support, where you get to be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there in audio format, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital P, ERIENCEPOINT. However, if you don't have any money to send our way, don't worry. We still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of us, hopefully, a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel. We can get this show and all of our shows in full video format now and officially forever and ever. That's where you get to see our bright and shiny faces. Well, at least half of our shiny faces on Logan's side, but if you do, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we decide to post it. New episode reminders and updates for you. Last week's episode is out. It's 44. It's doing really, really good, actually. Love to see the amount of engagement and watch time and other things like that. Hoping more people start commenting as more people come in and listen to us and get to know us a little bit more. Hopefully they engage with us and we can start talking about games all throughout the week. Other than that, both of us have completed Resident Evil 4. Little update. One of us has completed it twice. But so we will get that review out to you as soon as we can. Hopefully next week. At some point in time, if we get a chance to sit down and record it. With all that out of the way, though, as always, let's get into this week's show. In our point of the shows, we take a break from all the seriousness of the industry and bask in the joy of April Fool's Day in video games. We're going to go through some of our favorite stories that we saw, some of the cool things, and some of the interesting things. Also, don't build a computer on April Fool's Day. Learn that the hard way. In Around the Point, Resident Evil 4 is now Capcom's most successful game. If rumors are to be believed, we are getting a new handheld from the makers of the PSP. Although, it's probably not what people are hoping for. And Star Wars Jedi requires a lot of space. Also, one update before we came on, we will be going through Star Wars Celebration Day 1 and giving you our reactions to some of the things that they announced and some of the trailers they showed off. Then in LTR, we dive into the reviews for the Super Mario Bros. Trailer and Meet Your Maker, the new PlayStation Plus game. Excuse me. But before we get to all that, it's time for what is and forever will be the rundown, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether they be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter to us because we like it all and love to talk about it. So, Mr. Birdman, welcome to the rundown. What, sir, have you been doing?
Well, I guess I'll get the least exciting, well, sort of least exciting news out of the way. Resident Evil 4, I have completed it, my second playthrough. Just 2 days ago, I believe. I don't think there's much more for me to say. If you haven't listened to the last 2 episodes, spoiler alert, I'm obviously really liking it. I mean, clearly, if I put the time in to beat it 2 times, there's something there for me to enjoy. So, I think in my 3rd playthrough, I'm going to aim for getting the Infinite Ammo RPG. And then from there, I'm going to play all the hardest difficulties and try to get everything else unlocked. So I might go to like either professional or hardcore after I get the unlimited ammo RPG and just try to unlock as many things as possible. But I will say I've had a lot of fun. There's only one boss fight that we'll be talking about that we are definitely not big fans of. Especially through my 2nd playthrough, he still wasn't fun to fight at all.
Did you do the egg trick?
So sadly I only had 1 gold egg. So I forgot. So my next playthrough I might actually keep both gold eggs because I know where to get them now, and I might try to take them out. So we'll see. But yeah. So I mean, it's really fun. So let's go to you because yours is a little bit more exciting. It's your first time beating it all the way through.
Well, my first time beating this game. This is now my seventh time beating Resident Evil 4. And yeah, I don't want to actually say that much. My review is pretty much written. My summary and all that's completely done. It's a long summary when we do like our overall thoughts and opinions. And then I have a bunch of bullet points and everything. So just know it's absolutely phenomenal. It's Resident Evil 4 cranked up to the max. And I got to say, though, if you don't, for some reason, like Resident Evil 4, probably not going to like this one. So, yes, we will talk about that boss fight. That boss fight was my least favorite change. My only change, really, that I don't like and I don't appreciate. There's a lot of different story and character stuff. We're obviously going to dive right into that. We probably won't even really do a non-spoiler thing. We're probably just going to dive right into talking about the differences. I mean, this is an 18, 19-year-old game. If you haven't played Resident Evil 4 OG, don't listen to the review, I guess, until you beat this one if you are interested. But we will get that out to you as soon as possible. So, I do find it funny though. Logan has beat the game twice in almost the same amount of time that I beat the game once. So I'm much slower in my playthrough. Yeah, his first playthrough was what, 16 hours?
Yeah, 16 hours. Second playthrough was 8 hours, sadly,
so
because
that
I put too much time at the beginning of the game, and some boss fights slowed me down. So hopefully the next one, I'm gonna try to beat it in 6 hours or so, but we'll see. I want to.
well, you do get a trophy for beating it in under 8 hours, and then the actual
I did.
rewards.
I
Oh,
got
did
it.
you?
I
Okay,
think.
okay, okay, okay.
I think I did. Yeah, I think it was like speed run or something like
Yeah,
that.
something
I
like
can't
that.
remember what it was. Yeah.
So yeah, your total playtime is 24 hours. My total playtime is over 22 hours. So that just goes to show the difference of how much time you can spend in this game if you want to really explore, walk around, find a bunch of the stuff, or you can blitz right through it if that's what you decide to do. But all right, I guess I'll stay on the Resident Evil train. I don't want to leave. So Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries mode came out today. Logan, I don't believe, has gotten a chance to check it out yet. I got a chance to check it out very briefly before we sat down to record this here episode. And I gotta say, it's Mercenaries. It's fun as hell. I mean, it's hectic. It's chaotic when you get up into the like once you get past pretty much 50 enemies killed, man, it goes insane. I do have to say, I think it's kind of a cool thing, even though I know there's a lot of complaints from the RE4 community out there about the reward that they give you during this one. For those of you, if you don't remember, getting S rank on pretty much all the characters and all the modes in the original got you the PLG or PLR, the energy weapon. That's what you got from it, and you could go through and play there. This one, all you have to do is get S rank on one character on all the maps. So 3 S ranks, and they give you the hand cannon, which I know has stirred up a lot of controversy in the hardcore RE4 community, considering that is a reward for beating professional at S tier. Or maybe that's S
No, that's
plus?
right. Yeah, I think it's S plus. You have
Is it
to
S
beat.
plus? Which is like the hardest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of people that are complaining, be like, well, this can be done in 30 minutes getting the hand cannon, as opposed to really having to study the game and coming to grips with how to play this game. And S plus on professional is no easy task. You have to beat it in under 5.5 hours with only 15 maximum saves. Yeah. So I guess I understand a little bit. Part of the RE4 completion community is these things are hard. These are not easy games to complete. If you want to get all of them, especially like Platinum Trophy Hunters and all that, this is a badge of honor when you platinum a Resident Evil game. So I guess
I think there's much worse problems, or not much worse, sorry. There are worse things that did come out with this update than that, in my opinion.
No, you're talking about
the microtransactions.
Does that matter?
But I think it's a little dumb.
Yeah, I mean, people are complaining about it's pay to win. I'm like, no, it's not. You're not playing against anybody.
That's dumb. I don't get why people say it's pay to win, because it's not even an online game. You're not fighting anyone else but NPCs.
And look, you know what?
Who cares?
If Joey from Ohio wants to pay $10 to get 10 exclusive tickets and make his professional runs easier, my hat's off to you. Whatever. I don't care. Like, it's not that big a deal to me. Like, I guess if, there was like an online community, like this, and you could get the exclusive guns and then take, say, the Blacktail fully leveled up or the Red 9 fully leveled up into like a PvP mode, then yes, that's pay to win. That's the definition of it. But when it's a single player game, so you're just paying for the convenience of not having to go through the trouble of grinding these spinals out or these runs and this money to get those exclusive weapons. If you want to spend $10, go right ahead.
Honestly, too, by the way, people, it's really not that hard to get these things. Like, people make it sound like it's really hard to get the spinals, but I easily got the first ticket within like a couple hours. It's really easy. Like, you really don't have to put that much effort in. And also, you don't need them to upgrade to the exclusive. You just have to save up enough coins. And again, trust me, if you're smart and you put the right gemstones in each treasure, you could easily get the right amount to get the exclusive upgrades. Yeah, I mean, I maxed out 3 of my weapons on their exclusive. through my second playthrough already, and yeah, it's really not that hard.
Well, that's not
Like,
even
it's
crazy.
not.
On my first playthrough, I got the exclusive ticket, used it on my handgun,
Mhm.
and then I also upgraded my shotgun completely and got the exclusive that, and that's on my
Yeah.
first playthrough. You just
It's
gotta
easy.
be diligent and collect everything. Like
Mhm.
I found all 3 crowns, had them all slotted with the 5 different gens, so that's 300K right there.
And also, by the way, there is some really cool. I'll save these for the review, and I know this is off topic, but there are some really cool things on my second playthrough I learned that kind of makes some sections where you don't have to go through them again. Like, you can do some speedrun tactics, like especially the Ashley thing. On my second playthrough, I learned that you could just straight up go to that clock as soon as you begin her, put the right time in. You skipped literally 90% of that section by
Yeah.
doing that. It's that easy. Also, another thing which I hope they don't get rid of because they said it was a glitch, but I don't really think of it as a glitch. I think it's actually like kind of cool. You know that section where you're trying to get one of the heads and there's like a pathway and there's a bunch of spikes.
Yeah, you can
all
shoot
the way to it.
You can
could
shoot
throw
the
a
mine
grenade,
through. Well, the
or you could
grenade
throw a
or
grenade too.
we can do the
and
mine.
that's what I did. On my second playthrough, I threw a grenade just to test it out. Yep, skip that whole thing, and I'm like, that's cool. That's really cool.
Also,
I hope it doesn't disappear because I really like that a lot.
in the village section, you can completely skip the first.
Yeah, with the bell.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can't do it with a pistol. It's almost impossible. I saw a guy try and he couldn't get it. But all you gotta do is rifle, zoom in, boom, pop it, and you're done with the village section. So yeah, there's a lot of cool different things you can do. People are saying it the kind of glitchy. I think the only one that sounds kind of glitchy is skipping the ambush when you're getting I think the lion head. I don't remember which one it is. That sounds a little glitchy, like, you know, you're blowing the character up as he spawns in from the cutscene. That sounds like you're messing with the game mechanics.
Well, the thing is, like, the cutscene didn't even pop up at all when I did it. All I did was throw a grenade, and it blew up, and then I just kept walking forward, and he was dead already. He was already in the hallway. So I wonder if they did update it, and they just put him in the hallway, so that if you do kill him, then it just doesn't do the cutscene. Because a lot of my watch, the cutscene happens and he gets killed during the cutscene.
That's what I saw.
But mine, he just straight up was dead before the cutscene even happened. Because I threw a grenade just at the right time.
You want to know what's funny? With the Ashley section in the grandfather clock, I did all that. I did it on my first playthrough, but then I still walked around and explored everything. So because I backtracked like crazy. Because I actually got kind of confused. Because like I did the clock thing, and I was like, okay, that seems like you were supposed to do that, and then you weren't technically supposed to do that. That was a way to bypass it all. And then I still walked around the room and did everything else. So I confused myself on that section. But yeah, you know, I do kind of want to move on from Resident Evil. We got a lot to talk about in the review. Like I said, mine's pretty much all done and ready to go. So whenever you want to sit down and get that knocked out, I'm all for it.
I'm ready as well.
But yeah, it's a phenomenal video game, and I can't wait to talk in depth, full spoilers, talk about everything in this game and all that. So, all right, one other game I played before we get to Logan's that he forgot last week. Meet Your Maker, the new game from the developers of Dead by Daylight, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
So it came to PlayStation Plus day one. Download it. I'm gonna be honest. I've only played for like maybe an hour and a half, if that. I don't know if I'm gonna play anymore.
That's fair.
I mean, it's a cool idea. I think there will be a community behind this game, especially since, you know, with it coming to PlayStation Plus, the barrier to entry is, well, essentially zero. It's $60 a year, but most people have at least the essential tier of PlayStation Plus. So the barrier to entry is null and void, and I think there will be a community, the people who like this kind of stuff. I just didn't find it all that fun, and it is very, very grindy the way it's set up, how you level things up, and the only, like, I guess, interesting thing about it is if the community does cool things with the way they set up their forts or their bases. I forgot what it's called. But
I think it's a base.
A base, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Do I think it's a bad game? Absolutely not. I think it controls well. I think the idea is there. And as the community grows and as people get better at building, I think there could be some really, really interesting and cool ideas. Is it a game that I'm going to play for an extended period of time? No. Like I said, I might jump on with Logan because it is co-op. You can do this together. so you and I can jump on and play this together if you want. I'll probably keep it on my not my hard drive, my SSD for some time if we want to hop on and maybe do a couple raids together ourselves. But yeah, I think it's fine. I think the visuals of it a lot better than I guess the core gameplay. I do think it's kind of weird though how the game is designed around the people who build these things to get as many kills as possible, which just makes it kind of tedious. Like I played this one raid. I grant it, yes, it was a brutal level. So there's 3 different difficulty levels that you can do on these raids. So I decided to jump into one of the hardest ones to see what it was. And there's just a trap at every single corner, every single turn. There's just traps everywhere. And then even after you slowly make your way through, once you grab the objective, there's a whole second wave of enemies and traps that can spawn. In one hit, you're dead. So, I don't know. It feels like a perfectly fine game for people who like that. It's not my type of game, so I'm probably going to bounce out. So, that's all the gaming I've done. So let me turn it over to Mr. Birdman before I talk about some of the watching I've done. That sounded creepy. Some of the TV shows I've watched this week.
Well, first thing first, I will say I did look up some stuff about Meet Your Maker, and yeah, I think the biggest problem with that game is just the fact that like the main objective is just killing people, and it's gonna kill the game, I feel like, faster than it needs to. And also there's no variety, and there's no and in order to create a level, you have this robot that goes through the entire thing, so you can't do like what is it called? Yeah, you can't do like platforming. You can't do platforming.
You have to have a direct path. So
so that's the problem with it. And I think if they fix that, added more variety, and maybe even made different objectives for the bases, I think they could get somewhere. But I think as of right now, from what I've heard, yeah, it's a problem. I do want to try it out. I will download it and play it. But so, what have I been doing? Last week, during one of our stories, I forgot that the other week, during the first week or so of Resident Evil 4 coming out, I tried out Diablo 4 during its open beta. I was like, okay, I'll put like a couple hours. So again, I only played for like 2 hours, I believe, of Diablo 4 beta. That's all I really did. I mainly just got through the first beginning section, and I did a little bit of quests, and between that, I didn't go max out my character, I didn't do any of that. But what I can say is I had quite a bit of fun. I thought the intro of the game was pretty damn cool. I think the graphics are pretty damn impressive. I think the gameplay is really fun. Maybe I won't pick the druid next time, because I don't think I really liked playing as a druid, but I thought the druid would be pretty different, because Diablo 3, I played the Necromancer, and I really love the Necromancer. And I know Necromancer's in this game, but I wanted to try someone different, so I tried the Druid out. I'm not a big fan of Druid and the way that he attacks things. I think he's too slow, and I don't think he's that impressive as a character. So if I do play it in the future, it'll probably be someone else. But I'll say I had a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of like problems going around, like people saying that this game looks like Diablo 3, and I'm like, I guess you never played Diablo 3, because I played Diablo 3 and this game looks much better, and I don't know why people keep saying it looks just like it, because it doesn't. Trust me, it really does not. It looks way better than Diablo 3. Also, gameplay is a lot more difficult than Diablo 3, in my opinion, from what I played. I kept ramping up the difficulty in Diablo 3, and it still wasn't hard. So Diablo 4 is already much more difficult, in my opinion. But it's really fun, and it's not even about difficulty. Like, it's not like super hard, but it definitely is like a little bit more difficult. Like, if you're dumb, you can get yourself killed pretty easily. I will say one thing I'm a little sad about, but I also kind of understand why they're doing it, is the fact that this is an only online game, so that if you want to play, like, even if we're playing single player, there's literally no way to play it in offline mode. So that kind of sucks, but I also, the more I've thought about it, the more I understand why they did it, because it's not like the other games. It's always online because it's I can't remember what they called it, but it's basically like an MMO at this point. Diablo 4 is more of an MMO than all the other games, because when you go into the open world sections, you will find players all around. But when you go into dungeons, then it just goes to you and your party. So it's basically literally MMO at this point. So I understand why they made that change. It does suck down the line if for some reason this game, dies out. Are they going to make it offline? I don't know. That's something to think of in the future. It's one thing that I always worry about. That's why I don't really love only online games, because then I always find that there's going to be a day that it just disappears. And this is a kind of game that you could definitely play without needing other people. So I don't know. That's just me, how I think of games. I'm a very big stickler on games when they're only online. So it's not that big of a deal. Am I getting it day one, though, after this beta? I don't think so. Probably be something down the line when I get it when it's cheaper. But I will say, from what I played, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was really cool. I thought the how big this world is and how it's a lot more open-ended, and it's not so jumping from loading screen to loading screen. It's a lot more open and bigger and a lot more exciting, in my opinion. So, yeah, that was my experience with Diablo 4. But do you have anything to say?
No, I mean, I've watched a lot of videos on it.
Mm-hmm.
I like Diablo. I'm not a hardcore fan. I know I say a lot that I like ARPGs, and I do. I enjoy playing them. I played Path of Exile for quite a long time. It was one of the first games I played when I built my original computer, not this new one that I have right here. But yeah, I mean, I see myself buying Diablo 4. Probably mostly just to play with you. It'll probably be a PC game. You can jump on the PC game trail now. And yeah, I think it looks perfectly fine. I do think it, I mean, I disagree with people saying that visually it looks like Diablo 3. It does not. Like, you can put those two games side to side and there's a clear, decade difference in terms of visual fidelity. But I mean, gameplay wise, it's Diablo 3.
Well, yeah.
And like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what people want. Like, I mean, again, if I bought Diablo 3 and it played like God of War, I'd probably have a problem with that,
Yeah,
sorry,
that'd be kind of
sorry,
weird.
if I bought Diablo 4, sorry. So I don't know. People just gamers, man. We complain to complain sometimes. I try to not do that. I sometimes fall into that trap, but I try my best not to complain for complaint's sake. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play it though. Is it a day one? No, because Final Fantasy 16 comes out shortly after that, and that is a day one. So, which we will talk about here in a little bit. But all right, what other PC games have you checked out?
So, within PC gaming, I jumped around between a few games. I downloaded Red Dead Redemption. I played that. And I gotta say, wow, dude, playing. So there is a problem with this game too, which is kind of frustrating, and it's really up to AMD to fix the problem. But I have it at max settings, everything, 1440p, and it runs at about 100 FPS. And it's pretty insane playing this game at not only way higher frame rate than I've ever played it, which was 30 FPS on the Xbox, but also visually, like, whew, man, this game looks so freaking good. Other than one little problem, and it's really annoying, but when you go into water, it has this weird blocky thing that pops up when you're running in water. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just this driver update, and that's what I seen on Reddit. Well, I updated to the new driver, really excited, like, they're gonna fix it, like there's a problem. Nope, still there. And it's really annoying because everything else in the game, phenomenal, runs insanely well. It's super cool seeing this game at max settings. It's really beautiful. But those blocky water thing, man, it sucks. And there's no way to get rid of it until either AMD or Red Dead or Rockstar does something, because it's just supposedly that's something that happened with the most recent driver update. And yeah, so that kind of sucks. But other than that, runs beautifully, plays great. I have my controller hooked up to my PC, and I've been playing it for like probably 3 hours this week or so. Yeah. I also downloaded Battlefront 2 because I had it from Epic. They have it as a free game, so I downloaded it. Max settings, 200 FPS, which is the max ceiling of the game. And the game looks so good on there. And then another game I downloaded on the Xbox Game Pass. Downloaded Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is one of my favorite games. Not of all time, but it is a really good game, and I really love it. And seeing this game, dude, at max settings is insanely mind-boggling. Like, it's so freaking good looking at max settings. Like, compared to what I played on Xbox, it's literally a world of difference. Like, compared to even Red Dead, like, this is, like, really, really worlds of difference. Surprisingly, that game's pretty demanding at max settings, dude. Like, I have it at 1440p max settings. It's like 100 FPS. It's actually probably a little less than what Red Dead is, which I think is kind of weird because it's an older game. But yeah, it's still runs insanely well, and it looks insane. Again, like, really crazy looking how good it looks. I'm like, dude, it never looked this good on Xbox for me. So yeah, it was awesome playing that. I played a little bit of Halo, basically 300 FPS. no problem there. And then I think that's it, really. I've been trying to download some other games, trying to figure out really what I want to play. There's a few games I kind of want to buy. Like, I want to buy Ready or Not. That's a game that's only on PC that I've been really wanting to play. And from what I watched in videos, it runs insanely well on at least my GPU from what I've looked up. So I really want to download that game and actually buy it and everything. But so far, blown away. I think a lot of I had some problems on the way. Like, for example, on Battlefront 2, when I first started it, my mouse would just straight up not show up. There was no way to navigate the menus or anything. So I had to restart it, go back in, and it fixed itself. It was really weird. It never happens again. Not a single time. Other than that, nothing. It's been flawless. It's been great. I've been messing with some of the creative apps. I messed with Photoshop a little bit. Runs like a dream. So easy to mess around with stuff. It loads quicker. It's not having performance issues when I'm just putting one image on the freaking dock. It's great. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say other than the only problem was Red Dead with its blocky water, which really sucks. But other than that, my mind, dude, as a console gamer to go into PC is like blown at this moment. It's just so cool playing some of these old games at straight up max settings. Just changes the games. Not all games change that much, but some of them do look damn good at max settings. So
well, that's cool.
That's been my week. It's been pretty cool.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It is a very, very powerful computer. I'm proud of you for picking well, I picked most of the parts, but yeah. I'm proud of you for being there and maybe learning a thing or two about some computers. And like I said, when you're gonna run into problems. There's gonna be days where you turn something on and you're like, "What's broken now?" And you just kind of gotta figure it out. Take one problem at a time. Look up how to fix it. Definitely learned how to work in the command prompt. Command prompt is your best friend on Windows. It's going to tell you a lot and be able to do a lot more than just you generally can. Now, saying that, I still don't know all the codes. I look up the exact codes. I know what to do. I just don't remember exactly what to put in there to say check a disk and make sure it's healthy or whatever like that. Or to completely reset a disk. But yeah, so I'm super happy for you. I'm glad. I can't wait to have an easier time doing just things, online recordings, this podcast in general. We can
do this. Like, by the way, like, I mean, like, literally. So if you guys listen to our last episode with the Mac, it was picking up like so much noise. Like, my wife was in the kitchen opening up the microwave, and I could hear it, and I'm like, dude. But I straight up just cracked the can by this. I'm hitting my keyboard, not picking up anything. Like, I'm snapping next to the freaking mic, and it's not even picking it up. That's insane. It's a little too good, especially with that audio you tried to play. But it's so nice. It's great. I can open Discord and it doesn't take 15 minutes. Dude, this is like every time I get on there too and I see the refresh rate, I'm just moving the mouse left and right, just blown away by how fast it moves. Or when I navigate menus, it's like lightning fast. I know this is probably not new for a lot of people with PCs, but for me, this is like.
No, it's cool.
Crazy. It's like blowing my mind. Like, I've never had a PC before, and I've never had one, never messed with one as fast as mine so far. And it's like awesome. It's so cool. I can't wait to download more games. I can't wait to actually try some actual just straight up PC games that are only on here. But yeah, I know I've been talking for a lot, been gushing a lot about the PC, but yeah, pretty exciting, really cool. What about you, Mike? What are you been watching this week?
Well, no, like I said, just generally, I'm happy everything worked out. I'm happy we got
Yeah.
through the issues and you're able to enjoy pretty much your $1,700 PC machine. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad. Not gonna lie, I was staying very calm while I was there, but I was a little worried. I'm like, I don't know if I can fix this, man. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's happening. But, like Matt Damon said in The Martian, you fix the first problem, then move on to the next one. And if you fix enough problems, hopefully things fix. Or you just tell your computer to fix itself, which is what I ended up doing. So, all right, I did watch 2 things this week. I started watching one thing last night. I completed something else. I'm definitely in a Resident Evil mode. So, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, they call it an anime. It's not really an anime. It's an animated movie, but it doesn't, excuse you.
Sorry.
Your noise suppression didn't take that out.
Yeah, no, right? Perfect.
But I will say, if you want to watch this, it's only 4 episodes. It's 2 hours. It's 2.5 hours.
For sure, I have.
Total. I was just talking about in general to the audience.
Oh, yes.
Not just to you, but when you first turn it on and you first see it, it is the weirdest animation of all time. I'm not going to say it's ugly because, like, as I settled in, it's not ugly animation. It's just so off the wall, uncanny valley animation that it took me, 10 or so minutes to really adjust to it. But I think overall, it was a fairly enjoyable 2+ hour watch, all 4 episodes. I think it was fun. You definitely got to see more of Leon and Claire. Those are probably 2 of my favorite protagonists outside of Jill. I know. I'm not a Chris guy. I like Chris, but I would much rather play as...
No, I prefer Leon over Chris.
Leon's
He's
amazing, dude.
Way up there.
He's so cool. But yeah, I think it is overall, especially for Resident Evil fans, enjoyable. Is it necessarily good? Half one, 6 on one side, half dozen the other. It's not good. I would probably give it, a 2.5 out of 5 or something like that. But for my own personal taste, it was easily a 3, if not a little bit more. I thought it was really enjoyable. There's a lot of dumb parts, like the way it ends and the way they...
Yeah, the way it ends is...
The way they
awful.
beat the final confrontation, I was like, that didn't make any sense. And I felt like I missed something, which I did not. But I think, like I said, overall, decent story. It did make me realize one thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
We need a old school Resident Evil game, obviously with like modern visuals and trappings, set in the White House.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Dude, like the puzzles and getting key cards and doing others would make so much sense in the White House because you have security levels and you have different areas, and because the first episode is set in the White House. And as they were doing that, I'm like, this would be an amazing setting. So, Capcom, if you're listening, you should be listening to us. I'm just going to say that. Give me a Resident Evil game set in the White House in like old school fashion, like RE2 remake fashion. I think that would actually be really, really cool. And plus, like, everything's there. You got the armory, you got secret rooms, you got all this stuff that you could uncover about the government and the controlling entities, which has always been a part of the Resident Evil franchise. I just think it works too well. Anyway, other than that, speaking of the White House, I just made this connection, but I watched something called The Night Agent. It's a new Netflix kind of spy, CIA, FBI type deal, which is right up my alley. I love those things. I've watched the first 3 episodes out of 10. I was going to watch more, but I didn't do that this morning, so I woke up and did nothing. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I think it's super interesting. Definitely having a good time with it so far. So if you guys like that kind of TV, that kind of thrillers type spy / secretive TV show, definitely give this one a check out. It's one of the newer ones, so it's number 1 on Netflix right now. So I had to jump in and give that a shot. And yeah,
is it new?
Yeah, just came out. I think last week.
Oh,
yeah. But
okay.
I said I really like it. I think the characters are decent. I think, like I said, the mystery and the story behind it so far is keeping me intrigued. The action is very well filmed and choreographed. Some of the shots are very modern spy thriller. You have this super shiny, defined nighttime scene where everything is bright and high action and motion. So it definitely fits right in with the genre. And like I said, overall, I have been enjoying it. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, Mr. Birdman?
I don't think so, no.
All right, we're going to jump right into point of the show, also known as pots. Wow, this is weird. We're essentially at the 1 hour mark to the dot. So that's cool. This week, no impressions, no nothing, no detailed descriptions or anything like that we have for you. It's quite simply some funny stuff happened. So April Fool's Day happened the day that I put Logan's computer together. And like I said, for those of you out there, don't do that. You're destined to run into some problems and issues just by nature of the day. But it also was a day in games where everybody gets to have a little bit of fun. The media outlets get on this. The studios, the developers get in on it. Definitely some hardware manufacturers get in. There's two of them here that we're going to talk about. Some really cool, interesting, funny hardware manufacturings. So just going to go through these, talk about what they were, why I liked them, see what Logan has to say, and then we'll get on to the news for this week. So the first one that I saw, this comes straight from Razer. And they say, look your best while gaming with the new Razer by Razer. Things can get hairy when you're on a bad losing streak. Thankfully, we've got the solution that'll shave the day. Put on your best game face with the Razr, the world's first shaving mouse powered by Razer Chroma RGB, designed for an ultimate clean shave that brings out your A game. They're asking for beta testers for this. It says, armed with a series of 1,337 ultra-fine, ultra-sharp microblades, the mouse provides a close shave that's incredibly gentle on sensitive skin, removing all barriers between you and your gameplay. So, wireless technology, said RGB controlled through Razer's Chroma Studios of apps. So if you're sitting there, you got your wireless Razer mouse just like mine. The blades were positioned right here. You just go to town, man. You just shave everything off, clean it up. So if I'm sitting here and Logan says, Mike, you're looking quite ugly, I can just get it on my neck, just shave it all up.
Perfect,
what do you think?
Dude.
What do you think about this, man?
Dude, and you know what? It even boasts that it has instant performance boost. After shaving with the Razer, test subjects have reported a marked increase in gaming performance of up to 69%. Wow, look at that. Perfect number, too.
Too easy.
Man. I love that. That's good. That's a really good one. I did not see that on that day, so that's awesome.
It says also at the FAQ, why would I want to shave at 360 follicles per second, also known as FPS, when the human eye can only perceive up to 60? The response, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then another question. These are great. Can the chroma lighting on the Razer stop the process of aging? The answer by Razer, not yet. However, we understand the appeal of gaming for eternity, and we are working hard to improve Razer Chroma's RGB current capabilities.
That's amazing. I love that.
That was a good one. I very much enjoyed looking in on that. But my favorite one, actually not my favorite one, but my favorite one is the last one I put on there. I hope you see the video because it's amazing. But anyway, our second one. HyperX wants to keep you cool and hydrated with the new Cloud 2.0 headset with a built-in drinking tube. So it says, thirst and dehydration can be serious issues for dedicated gamers who lose themselves for the digital halves during intense sessions. Addressing the issue, HyperX launches its Cloud 2.0 hydration headset just in time for April 1st. If water is equal to life, and you believe gaming is equal life, then logically, water is equal to gaming. Cloud 2.0 is a perfect solution for gamers who often need a little reminder to hydrate before they dehydrate. HyperX writes in their press release, with water reservoirs conveniently placed within the ear cups, Cloud 2.0 reminds you when it's time to take a sip. patented swerve technology swivels the mic-equipped tube into position for a quick drink of choice, and HyperX Ingenuity software allows you to customize hydration reminder intervals and check reserve levels. When you're raging too hard and exceed the mic input threshold, Cloud 2.0 also reminds you to take a step back and chill with a spray of water. Pricing and availability have yet to be announced for this April Fool's Day aquatic wonder. And if you have the document pulled up like I do, this is one of the greatest images of all time. This is amazing.
Dude, yeah, I love that so much.
This was so much fun. I love this. I will say, for maybe 1 second, it tripped me up. Because I actually didn't see it on April Fool's Day. I saw it like 2 or so days after, and I was like, wait, what? And then I opened up this document. I was like, oh, never mind, we're good. I was like, wait, because, a new HyperX product, my eyes are on it. I love this company. Even though as I sit here with a Razer keyboard, Razer mouse, I do have a HyperX mic, though. So, but yeah, what do you think? Do you want to check out the HyperX Cloud 2.0 hydration headset?
Oh, yeah, dude, for sure. Dude, I can't... Well, how does a mic even work? Because it has like where the straw is. Like, how would you even talk?
So,
like I said, built in.
Well, no, with their patented swerve technology, what they call it, when it's ready to drink, the mic rotates around so you can take a drink from it.
That's amazing.
So yeah,
perfect.
It's a new patented swerve technology.
Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if this actually came out to be like a real thing, but maybe not from HyperX, but from someone else. I could see it being a real thing.
Yeah, someone stupid.
That's
like
funny.
I have this headset. It's in my closet back there, but I bought it on like deep sale. It's supposed to have cooling technology in the ear cups to like where like there's a fan or something that turns on in the headset and like cools the ear. It's terrible. It doesn't even sound good at all. So I spent $30 on it. I think it's originally like $150. So I plan on reselling it. I don't even know what it's worth. I have to look up what it's worth, if it's worth anything at all, but yeah, definitely a dumb purchase on my eyes. Oh, not my eyes. On my side. All right, the last one and probably my favorite one that I saw all week. Please tell me you've watched this video, because
That's actually what I've been doing.
This video is top tier. The Super Mario Brothers movies. The Super Mario Brothers movie voices are coming to your favorite Nintendo games. This comes directly from Nintendo itself in its own dedicated direct video. It says, all your favorite Super Mario Brothers movie voices are coming to legacy games through Nintendo Switch Online, with all new in-game dialogue recorded by Chris Pratt, Jack Black, Anna Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, and Michael Key. The list of the games that have enabled so far are Super Mario Bros. 1985, Donkey Kong Country, Mario Kart 8, Luigi's Mansion 3, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and Super Mario Odyssey. And for those of you that maybe you haven't seen this video, please go brighten up your day for a couple minutes and watch it. It is freaking hysterical. My favorite part is when they do Seth Rogen and they're like, what does Donkey Kong sound like with Seth Rogen's voice? And they just do Seth Rogen's laugh as Donkey Kong, and it's the funniest shit I have seen in a long time. This is definitely 2 minutes out of my day that was more than worth it. And they just have so much fun with it. And this is what I love about April Fool's Day. This kind of just basic enjoyment of the time, you know?
It's on, I really, really do like that video a lot. I watched the whole thing, and I think what really got me was just the first thing when literally Mario jumps on the flag. Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. I was like, dude, oh my god, like that'd be perfect. That'd be so good.
And when they have Jack Black do his lines from School of Rock when he's like busting up the rocks, he's like, "This doesn't fucking belong here." It's so good. Speaking of the Super Mario Brothers movie, I am seeing it Sunday, so
I want to see it sometime soon, but I want to see that movie and John Wick. Those are my two I want to go see right now.
Yeah, John Wick, dude. Scoring off the charts. Still probably my biggest, like, are you kidding me? I mean, I am a film fan. I don't necessarily call myself a film buff, but I'm definitely a big fan of films. Never seen a single John Wick.
Dude, it's so good.
I own.
John Wick 3, I know, may be the least exciting. Well, not least exciting, but it definitely has its issues. But the first two, at least, absolutely phenomenal. Like, so damn good.
I own 1 and 3, and I've owned them for a long time. Just never watched them.
I can't believe you never watched it, dude. It's so good.
It's
Trust me.
It's one of those things that I missed it when it first came out. So I feel like if I ever talked about it like in raving reviews, it'd be like disingenuous in a way. I don't know. I'm weird. So I feel like I can't like talk about it, which makes me not want to watch it, which is not at all what I should be thinking. But all right, is there anything else? I know you said you didn't see anything.
No, there was one that got me on April Fools, but I totally forgot what it was. Because I remember when we were building the PC, I seen it like somewhere, and it really got me for a second there, and then it wasn't true. So I didn't see any really good ones other than I know some games did some funny things, like Warzone added a thing where you had high gravity when you jumped and everything. I know Overwatch 2 added googly eyes to all the characters.
The
That's
murder,
all I could
the
think
murder of Sonic.
the murder of Sonic, which actually ended up being a game.
Yeah, it was a real game that came
download it.
out.
Yeah. That was actually pretty cool too. But that's really all I got. Like, I didn't think it was super newsworthy. Nothing really other than that.
It's
really
fun to
came out.
talk about. Then there's a Power Wash Survivors, the game that
Yes,
looks very much
yeah.
like Vampire Survivors, where you're power washing dirt away. Yeah. Overall, just I think a fun day. We've had better April Fool's days. Like sometimes Xbox and PlayStation get in on it. I didn't see anything from them this year, so I was a little disappointed by that. But definitely the HyperX Cloud 2.0 is that's a good one. That's a good one. But the winner of April Fools, if we want to crown a winner, is the Mario trailer. That was so amazing. So, all right. Well, no more fun. Let's get serious, folks. I'm just kidding. So we're going to go now to Around the Point, where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and give you the news you need to know about. Number 1 on Around the Point, Star Wars Celebration has finally kicked off, and we get to celebrate the first day of Star Wars Celebration. We're going to go now through some of these. It's been a while, actually, on this since we've talked about movies or anything like that. We used to talk about it a lot, but it's been a while since we've delved into the movies, and especially Star Wars and all that. I think the last time we talked about anything was it Doctor Strange? No, it was Avatar. No, we didn't even talk about Avatar that much.
No, we didn't end up actually. The funny thing is we literally said, I think the next episode we're going to make our topic about the Avatar, and then we never did.
Yeah, well, it was really good.
So,
loved it.
Yeah, just to say, people, I know this is like way, way later. I really liked it too. I thought it was really, really, it was pretty dang good in my opinion. So, visually, especially top tier. Insane.
Just ridiculous. So you saw it in full 3D, right?
Oh, yeah. After seeing the first one in 3D in theaters when they re-released it, I was like, I'm definitely watching the second one in 3D. So.
All right. Well, here we go. Talking about Star Wars Celebration Day 1. Announced a couple cool things. One thing I'm very much excited for. One thing I'm not excited for at all, but we'll get into that. So the first thing out of the box, Lucasfilm announces 3 live-action Star Wars movies are in development with directors Dave Filoni, James Mangold, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, but she's apparently really good. No word on what each of these are other than the last person, Mr. and Mrs. Sharmeen Obad Chinoy. So there you go, I pronounced it. No. And then James Mangold, the director of Logan and the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, will create a film that will go back to the dawn of the Jedi. So I might finally be getting my wish. We might be going to the Old Republic. That's exciting.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Dave Filoni's film will focus on the New Republic, which is also something that I have been wanting to do. One of the bigger things that fans around the world were very excited for, and I simply was not, it has been confirmed that Daisy Ridley is returning to Star Wars in a movie set after The Rise of Skywalker. The movie, as written here, will be set 15 years after the events of Rise of the Skywalker. In this new movie, directed by Mr. and Mrs. Sharmeen Obad-Chinoy, Rey will attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order as a Jedi Master. So, we get more Mary fucking Sue, I guess. Which is just what I wanted.
I just don't even know what they can, like, I don't know. I just don't even know why they're making it a movie, you know? Like, maybe make it a short little series, maybe, but, like, a movie? Like, what do you even, like, what's, like, the plot of that? Like, oh, she's bringing back the Jedi, okay, but what's the driving force? Like, what's the thing that's gonna be stopping her from doing that? Who? Because isn't the Empire dead, or are they actually dead at this point? Who knows?
No, they're gonna come back and so
Yeah.
we had the Death Star, then we had Starkiller Base. Now they're gonna go with, I don't even know, something round probably.
Yeah, something like that, you know.
But yeah, I mean, this is literally the same story that they tried to tell in The Last Jedi. In a way, well, I guess no, that's not right. This is the story.
The Last Jedi, they tried to say, let's kill the Jedi Order.
Yeah. But, like, this idea of Rey attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order, I mean, that's something we're seeing in the Star Wars Jedi games, and also something we heard about in the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, with what Luke tried to do. So, I'm just confused about why make a singular movie about this. Like, how much can they actually really tell in 2.5 hours, you know?
And again, what is stopping her? What is the evil force that still exists in this universe at this point? You know, like, they killed the Empire. They destroyed it. It's for good this time. Like, because Palpatine supposedly was the big driving force that kept this going in the sequel trilogy. But
so dumb,
if
dude.
He's actually dead,
so dumb.
Then, like, who is the thing that's stopping her from doing this? No one. So you're making a 2-hour movie about her just basically recruiting Jedi with nothing that's, like, gonna stop her, basically. I don't know. It just doesn't sound exciting at all, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I don't know. I still think they just massively screwed up with the sequel trilogy. And I just don't find Rey's character to be interesting at all. No offense to Daisy Ridley. I think she did what she could with the material that was given to her. She's just the actor. The actress. She's not the writer or anything like that. But I don't find it interesting. And now I have to hear them say Rey Skywalker umpteen million times in this movie. And I'm super excited about that, let me tell you. All right. The one I was actually excited about, Ahsoka gets a release window and a trailer. And they also said something about season 2 well before, season 1 even came out. But did you get a chance to check out this trailer? And
I did.
Is it as cool as I do?
One part of it's cool, Ahsoka in general. Second part that's not cool is Rebels characters coming in, and I don't give two shits about any of them. I hate all the Rebels characters, like, with a burning passion. I hate them. Maybe not hate, that's a bit harsh. Very much dislike them as characters. And they're trying to bring them back, because supposedly they're also showing up in the Mandalorian show. I haven't watched that far. I only watched the first episode of the new season of Mandalorian. I want to catch up, but I've been kind of in a gaming mood and doing a lot of gaming stuff, so I haven't really caught up yet. I will say first episode was really good. I really enjoyed it. But I don't care about any of these Rebels characters, and in this trailer, it seems like a lot of them are coming back. I recognized a lot of them. It seems like it was heavily focused mainly on these Rebels characters, and kind of continuing the story of what happens at the end of Rebels, because I watched the last episode of the Rebels show. I watched the first episode and the last episode. Yeah, I know, right? Because I just kind of wanted to see how it ended. Maybe I thought it would get better, kind of like Clone Wars, where at the beginning it was pretty rough, but towards the end it was absolutely fantastic. But no, Rebels stays bad the entire way through. So even on its last episode, it was just as bad as the first episode was.
I don't think it's bad. the
It's bad.
the
Okay,
Ahsoka stuff.
the only thing that's good is literally characters that we already love showing up and putting key moments like Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, Ahsoka Tano, and
Vader.
Vader. That I mean, and that's it. Those three things are
Okay.
the only things that keep that show up.
But
not
in
the
that,
character, not any of that.
you can't have an Ahsoka show without having those characters in there. At least in my eyes,
I
it's
know,
like
I
those
know,
characters
I
mean
know they're
something
gonna
to a
be
character.
here. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm still excited for the show, but I'm not excited to see any of those characters. I could give two shits about them. I think they are one of the lamest characters in Star Wars. I just don't think they're good at all. But who knows? Maybe they're better in the show. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe live action Rebels characters actually have character and they're not cheesy Disney-fied characters, Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited though for the show. I'm excited to see Ahsoka again, more of her. I liked her in season 2 of Mandalorian. So I'm pretty dang excited for that. And the action looks pretty damn awesome. Especially when she was fighting the 2 robots in the trailer. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, I mean Ahsoka's probably my favorite character we have left in Star Wars right now. I mean, Mandalorian's pretty high, but I don't know.
I was like,
I mean, Mando's cool, but from what I hear, he's not even the main character of his own show anymore. So,
I don't know. I'll have to watch it. First episode wasn't like that, so I don't know.
I mean, I read a story that said Bo-Katana's character is now just as important as the Mandalorian is, and I'm like, cool, whatever, I guess. I don't know, dude. Disney pisses me off at so many levels, man. They drive you up a wall so many times. Apparently, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing, quote unquote, a beloved Star Wars Rebels character, which I'm sure Logan really, really likes her character. So she is playing Mrs. Hera Syndulla, if that's how you say that. So those of you out there that are excited, I don't hate Rebels as much as Logan does. I don't think it's good. I mean, it's definitely not Clone Wars, but I guess in his defense, yes, he's right. The stuff that is good is the stuff that we've already liked. The new stuff isn't that good at all. So I guess fair enough. All right, we got a sneak preview of a Mandalorian season 3 episode 7. New beloved Star Wars character returning, and I'm gonna skip past that because I don't want to know. So if you have anything to say about that, let me have it.
Wait.
The new character returning to Mandalorian. I don't know. I just skipped through it. I didn't even look.
It's just if you watch the Rebel series, you know who it is. It's Admiral Thrawn thing. It's just continued off of that. Which if you watch literally the trailer of Ahsoka, you see that's kind of the big plot, supposedly what we're getting from that show. It's kind of the same thing that happened at the end. Again, it's kind of a continuation of Rebels because at the end of Rebels, Thrawn gets like eaten by these space whales or whatever, and basically that's where Ahsoka, I guess, that show is kind of continuing off of, from what I could tell, and so I guess in Mandalorian they're gonna have something about that. I guess we'll see. Again, I haven't watched anything but episode 1 of Mandalorian, so I heard a lot of parts of it were good, but again, I don't know. I haven't watched all of it yet. Other than I think they added a certain character that a lot of people absolutely hate, supposedly in episode 6. That I think some famous singers like plays as one of the characters, and everyone's like they don't like it. I guess I don't know. Again, I haven't watched it, so I don't know.
All right. Andor Season 2 has got announced to be aiming for an August 2024 premiere date.
That's exciting.
Yeah, because you liked Andor, didn't you?
It was actually really good. Like, I had literally zero expectations for the show because, again, I wasn't a big fan of him in Rogue One. And so I was already, like, I think if we go back to the episode of literally, I think it was last year's thing of the Star Wars Celebration, I just talked a lot of smack on it, and I think you did too. Like, we weren't we both were not excited for it, but after it came out and I started to see nothing but really good reviews from a lot of people, I was like, maybe I'll give it a try. And yeah, I actually really like it. Especially it's kind of refreshing because it's a new story. It's not having to use all these old characters that we love to kind of push the story forward. It's its own story, and honestly, it's pretty good. I mean, compared to Rebels, which was just shitty characters with nothing exciting at all, and they didn't add anything to the Star Wars lore. This show at least did something, and I actually really like it. And I also kind of like that it's not the normal Disney-fied Star Wars where it's like, let's make jokes. Here's a joke, guys. Oh, my father died. Just wacky. It's like, dude, like it's literally it's actually a serious story, and it's not making stupid jokes constantly. It's actually really good, and honestly, I give them full props for it because it's actually a really good show. I think it's really good.
I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna put it on YouTube as the Disney era of Star Wars defined.
Yes,
because that's exactly what it is. So
yeah.
All right, Star Wars: The Acolyte is apparently Frozen meets Kill Bill. The first details will be revealed. It's an upcoming series set during the end of the High Republic era, and will make its way to Disney Plus in 2024.
That sounds pretty badass.
I love the High Republic area. Honestly,
Frozen meets Kill Bill. Like, such a wacky description. Frozen. Like, and then Kill Bill. Like, what?
I don't know what that means, but if they are going to delve into the High Republic and Old Republic eras and time frames, I think that's what they need to do. I think that's what they should have done a long time ago. I'm sick and tired of the 30 to 40 year gap, and that's all we ever deal with in Star Wars, especially in TV shows and films, is there's an entire thousands of years of history in this universe, and for pretty much the entirety of its run, we've only dealt with, probably like 50 or so years from the birth of Vader to the end of Vader to the second end of Palpatine. The second end of Palpatine. So,
yeah,
dude, I still believe with every morsel of my being that Finn was supposed to be the main character of the sequel trilogy. He was supposed to be that stormtrooper turned Jedi. That's what he was supposed to be. I mean, you look at the first trailer for The Force Awakens. That's what it is. And I think that's a far more interesting story than what we ended up getting. And there has to be some sort of documentary in the next 20 years that details what that sequel trilogy was supposed to be versus what it ended up being. And I can't wait to learn that. So, because what we got just simply wasn't it. Like, it's sad. Pretty much has ruined so far my Star Wars fandom in a way. Like, Mandalorian's really good and I like it. But like, I'm just not that excited about this kind of stuff anymore. The same thing with like the MCU. It's just Disney is just driving this stuff into the ground. And yes, we get good stuff, but whatever happened to, come out with a trilogy of movies and then you wait for a decade, if not plus, to build anticipation for the next,
Disney Plus in general, I think, is what's really hurting to Disney right now, because they're just so focused on putting so much content out and not focusing on the quality of that. And it's like at the beginning of Disney Plus, I feel like they really had something there. They started pretty strong. Like, yeah, I don't want movies to go away. And I'm happy to hear that they are still, well, not happy about that movie, but I am happy to see that, they're sort of trying to put more. I would like to see another Star Wars movie come out, not just all Star Wars shows, because I would love to go to a theater and be like, oh, I can't wait to go see the new Star Wars movie. It doesn't even have to be like a numbered one. It could be like a Rogue One. Like, I loved when they were trying to actually put side story movies out there. Like, I loved Rogue One. Solo wasn't great, but it was semi enjoyable. Like, I want to see more of that. Make more movies. It doesn't have to be a numbered movie. It could just be a side story. That doesn't mean I don't like these shows too, but like, I just think they need to like just stop trying to push out so much shows and stuff and movies and etc. and actually focus on literally just making good content at this point. And I feel like they are starting to get a lot more backlash, and it seems like they're sort of starting to focus on that a little bit, because they haven't really been putting out as much. I feel like the first 2 years they were shoving out stuff like nonstop, it seemed like. So
yeah, well,
I don't know.
It sounds like I have till August to catch up before Ahsoka comes out, because I still got to watch the final 3 episodes of Obi-Wan. Then I got to watch Boba Fett. Then I got to watch Mandalorian Season 3. And then I guess I'm caught up. So I guess technically Star Wars isn't as bad as the MCU is right now.
Dude, the MCU.
We are just inundated with average content where we used to get nothing, like a bare minimum of above average content, I would say. Yeah, Thor 1 and 2, not great, but still better than a lot of other stuff out there. And now we're just fucking getting shit thrown at us all the time. And I'm like, I don't want to. And honestly, I think it'd be much easier for me to sit down and watch all these if they came out all at once. If they did the Netflix dump thing,
Mm-hmm.
If they just would have, because like keeping me engaged over 6 weeks is just not a thing anymore for me. Like I move on, I have other stuff to do. Like I forget
And
about things.
that's kind of how I've been with like the Bad Batch show. Like I just hate like, oh, let me check in this week to watch a 20 to 30-minute episode. I'm like, dude, like that's not worth it. I'm just gonna wait till the whole show comes out so I binge it. Like, yeah, I hopefully think more places will start doing that, but no, it doesn't seem like that. Like I thought Netflix was gonna set the standard with that. Like we come out with the show, the entire show's out. You can binge the entire thing through if you want to. I love that way more than like what HBO and Disney's doing. Like I hate being like, oh, I get to watch this hour episode. Now I gotta wait another week for another hour episode. It's like you have them all finished. You're just drip feeding them to keep people subscribed. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
so that means you don't have confidence in what you are creating enough to keep people wanting to stay subscribed to your thing. Like that's just dumb. Like just give us the entire show all in one thing. Like it's finished. Just put it out there. I don't like. I prefer binge watching the entire show.
yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
lot more enjoyable, especially if an episode does suck. Then I can keep going. It's not like, oh, that episode sucked. Now I gotta wait an entire week for the next part. It's like that's dumb.
I mean, you think it's coincidence that The Last of Us on HBO was 9 episodes and not more because that ninth episode was the first week of the third month. So now HBO can get you for an entire month that you paid for without having to put out any content. Because you think a third month would be 3 more episodes, which is what we wanted. We wanted 12 or so episodes.
Yeah.
So, but now they can make that content for 2 months plus 1 week and get you for 3 months. You think it's a coincidence? No, it's not. Like these businesses want your money, and while I may not always love Netflix and how they handle some of their properties, at least they've stuck to the here's your season 2. And yeah, I understand it probably doesn't make them as much money, especially for someone's like, oh, I only watch Netflix for Stranger Things and The Witcher. So they get a subscription the week that comes out, watch it and cancel. So like Disney and HBO and these other things are clearly making more money probably over the long run of the thing, but it's just I don't know, man.
And I think the only show in Netflix that I know that split it up was the last season, or not the last season, second to last season now of Stranger Things. But that's also because their episodes were insanely long. Like the last episode was literally a movie's length. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes. The last episode of the last season.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
Good God.
It's literally a movie. So I understand why they split that.
It's a long movie.
Yeah,
like that's a long movie.
Dude, that last season was insanely long, but that's not a problem. I was enjoying every minute of it, but that's literally the only show I know that they've ever split it up, and it wasn't even that bad. Like it was like 1 month, and then the next month they came out the second part. But that's because that season was insanely long, so I don't see that as a problem. But like most of these things, like some of these episodes are just way too short, or even if it's just an hour, like I don't know, just put the whole thing out. Yeah. I'd be much more happier with that.
Like when Cobra Kai season 5 comes out, I'm watching that for that whole day, or not 2 days. When The Witcher season 3, I'm watching that pretty much all in one. Or the way Peyton and I do it, we might watch like an episode a day or something. It's nice that we can space things out how we choose. We don't have to wait. A total of, let's see, a 10 episode season would be 80 days. That's not right. 74 days, something like that. And I don't know, it's just too long for me. My attention span is too little. I mean, if I can beat an open world JRPG in half the time that it takes for me to watch one season of your show, that's too long. All right. let's run through some of the rest of these. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, a show that I know a lot of people are excited about. I don't really know too much about it, but gets its first reveal. However, there is no word on the release date. It is still, however, set to arrive sometime in 2023. The Mandalorian show. Mandalorian. The Mandalorian showrunners celebrate Ahmad's best return to the series, which is a spoiler that I have now. So, thank you, TikTok. So we got a little bit in word for him, and then they showed off the new trailer for the next Indiana Jones movie titled "The Dial of Destiny," which I have not watched yet, but apparently it has to deal with time travel, which is totally what Indiana Jones was always about: time travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People were mad at aliens because it was unrealistic. We're getting time travel. That's awesome.
Yeah. Can't wait.
I love how I just said how I don't like to be hypercritical about things, but with Star Wars and Disney, I'm very hypercritical of. Oh, also, did you hear that we're getting a live-action remake of Moana now? Because that's totally what we need to get next. A live-action remake of a movie.
Peter Pan, still too, that's coming out. Oh, man. Yay.
I fucking love Moana, and I do not need a live-action remake of that movie.
I don't think we need a live-action remake of any of these old shows, but here we are. Disney's got to make that money, you know.
I mean, some of them from like the '90s and all that. That was slightly justified. Like, you know, the Beauty and the Beast remake, the Lion King remake. I know a lot of people didn't like. I really enjoyed it, but
I actually like the Beauty and the Beast one. I think that's the only one I've actually sat down and been like, "Wow, that was actually really good."
You saw that with
every
me.
other one has been very mediocre.
We all saw that
I didn't
together.
see it with you.
Yeah, we did. No,
I wasn't with you. That was Amy.
Amy was. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It was the whole group was there, just minus you. Now you're the only one left from the group, so there you go. You win.
Hey. Woo!
Yeah, you win. All right. So, anything else you want to see? Want to talk about from day one? I'm gonna vote here on the IGN. What was your favorite reveal from Lucas Studio Showcase? Actually, let's vote together. All right. What was your favorite reveal from Lucasfilm's Studio Showcase at Star Wars Celebration? The 3 new Star Wars movies, Daisy Ridley's return as Rey, Ahsoka's official trailer, the first look at the live-action Star Wars Rebels characters, or the Mandalorian clip and tease of a beloved returning character. Which one should we vote for? I'm voting for Ahsoka, but
oh, it's right up here. Okay. Yeah, I'd probably say Ahsoka's trailer too, because like that's. I don't know why they need to talk about the. I really don't like that they kind of spoiled things for Mandalorian by putting it on there. I think that's probably one of my least favorites, actually, even worse than Daisy Ridley, because I kind of hate that you had to put a spoiler in your thing. Like, don't do that. Don't. People are watching your show at the moment. Yeah, let's throw a spoiler in there for our showcase. Fuck you, fans. That's basically what they said.
Well, let's see what the Star Wars world, especially, I guess at least those on IGN, have to say. And the results, Ahsoka's killed it. 45.8% of the vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's out of 6,307 votes.
I'm so sad that 17% of those 6,000 people are excited for Daisy Ridley's return.
Hey, it was 21% on the top, though.
I would have been okay with almost anything else from the sequel trilogy other than Daisy Ridley's return. What's that one guy from Rise of Skywalker? Papa something? The weird dude who helps C-3PO with his memories.
Oh, the little dude?
Yeah, I would have been okay with the show with him. Fuck it.
I will say, as a semi-spoiler, without ruining anything, Mandalorian, they bring those guys back. That's all I'm going to say.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that like race, they come back in.
Mandalorian. I thought you meant
not
like
in
that
season 1,
in
season 3. Sorry,
well, I know it's not in season 1 and 2. I've seen that.
I know. So. Which, by the way, Amy's watching it, and dude, she loves it, and it makes me so happy. Because, dude, rewatching the first season of Mandalorian is like, it's so good, dude. I forgot how amazing it is. It's so good.
Season 2 is good, but it's not season 1.
No.
Although the ending of season 2 is top tier Star Wars.
And also Mandalorian season 2.5, which is part of Boba Fett. Also really good, like actually really good, and I mean that.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I gotta watch that fucking show is to actually understand what's happening.
And dude, it makes me sad. I mean, dude, look at this shit. Look at this, guys. Look at this. See this right here? This is what started the whole show. Was this scene right here? And I'm like, oh, this looks so cool. It looks like, you know, it's made by the same people supposedly as Mandalorian. You know, it's like it's gotta be good, right? Right?
No.
No. Because guess what? You know what it was? It sucked because it got Disney-fied. God, sucks, man. And now we probably will never see Boba Fett again. Probably. Guarantee it. Because that show, I think, did pretty poor. Bill telephone.
The old telephone and its modern ringtone with its touchscreen. I've always wanted to get a landline and put like an old dial phone on it for no other reason, just to do it. Just so I can call you and I get random calls on my old ass fucking dialed telephone. I've always wanted to do that. Don't ask me why, but all right. Moving on for Star Wars. That was everything we saw during day one. I think it goes on for the next couple days. So if anything cool happens during that, we'll come to you guys on next week's episode and let you know if anything really spectacular happens. If we don't say anything, nothing cool happened. That's how you know. All right, number 2 on Around the Point. CD Projekt Red has confirmed that the rumored canceled codename Sirius project is not in fact canceled, but it has been restarted. So essentially, it was canceled. They just tried again. So this is reading from their financial earnings call that they had, which is where we learned this information. This speaking, I believe, the head of CDPR says, so this is a project which is, I would say, in-sourced. Don't know what that means. It's also new to us in terms of design and format. For those reasons, it's very different from the big productions we are known for. To stay competitive, we have to keep looking for new ways to extend our franchises. Yeah, the CEO of CD Projekt Red, Mr. Adam Kaczynski, said during a QA earnings call. At the same time, we need to be ready to reevaluate our original concepts, even if the development work is already, underway. So for those of you that don't know, Project Sirius is the multiplayer game that we heard about a couple months ago, set in the Witcher franchise universe. The universe, that's what I was looking for. There we go. So, what do you think?
Well, for some reason, I've never heard of this. I thought for some reason this project was Witcher 1 remake. But is it gonna be like an MMO? I guess because that could work.
What says
as an MMO?
Project Sirius is described as offering multiplayer gameplay on top of a single-player experience. I don't know.
So wait, then yeah, probably like an MMO. I would assume that's pretty much kind of how MMOs are, right? It's all about there's a story, an overarching story, and then there's like side quests and all that stuff, and you can play with friends and all that. I think it's an MMO at this point, if I'm gonna guess. I mean, it's the only thing that would make sense if it's gonna be multiplayer, in my opinion, unless it's for some reason they're gonna be crazy and just make a single player game that you could play co-op with online. That'd probably be the only other idea I could think of.
I mean, I guess that sounds pretty okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way it works, but it could be cool. But again, I feel like since it's their first time making multiplayer, I don't know how well it's gonna go at that point. I feel like that's a big jump for them, kind of like how Cyberpunk was, and we all seen how Cyberpunk was with how big of a jump that was. And jumping from strictly just single-player games and all that to an online multiplayer kind of thing, it's a bit of a difficult jump. They could pull it off. Who knows? But I don't know about that.
I mean, yeah. What's another studio that did? I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with Factions. It's essentially kind of a similar thing, even though they've done multiplayer stuff before. Naughty Dog has.
Oh yeah.
So, speaking of that, I miss old like Uncharted multiplayer. It was so fun. Definitely didn't have the staying power of something like Call of Duty, but it was enjoyable at the time. Did you ever jump into that?
I did not, but
that's right,
I did.
Because you didn't play Uncharted when it came out.
No.
Well, it was fun and it was enjoyable. So I believe sitting on my PS3, I have a video of me doing like this really cool thing where like I kill someone in air while like rolling. That was really cool. But it's sitting back there somewhere. Yeah, it's back there somewhere. It's not plugged in. So, all right, number 3 on Around the Point. Final Fantasy 16 has officially gone gold, which means we are in fact getting it on June 22nd of this year. It's simply just says that Final Fantasy 16 has gone gold from the entire team, including Torgal. Don't know what that means. We hope you're looking forward to Final Fantasy 16 launch on June 22nd. And one of the reasons I wanted to put this in here, normally I put in Final Fantasy 16 stuff because I just want to talk about Final Fantasy 16, but Mr. Birdman, while I was up at his house this weekend, had something to say about Final Fantasy 16, and I wanted him to tell you guys in person. Take it away.
Well, I will say after watching some new videos and them introducing some of the open world and everything, or I guess sections, I guess. I don't know if it's like truly open world or not. It's actually looking pretty cool. So watch some gameplay and I'm like, this actually looks kind of fun. It's definitely way different than most Final Fantasy games, and again, from what I played in Final Fantasy VII especially, it seems to be way different, and yeah, kind of looks pretty cool. I don't know, it's not gonna be a day one thing for me again, because that's kind of a serious kind of like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a sketchy thing to jump into, but I'll probably try it down the line. Maybe after you complete it, maybe I'll borrow it and actually play it then, because it does look kind of cool. Yeah.
Number 4 on Around the Point. Sorry if it's a weird cut. We had to pause for a second. Anyway, Resident Evil 4 Remake has been fairly successful for Capcom. Capcom has revealed there's 2 parts of the story. So earlier this week, Capcom revealed that Resident Evil 4 Remake is off to a strong start, selling more than 3 million copies in its first 2 days on sale. This gives Resident Evil 4 the best launch of all the remakes and only second launch in the history of the franchise. Per reference, Resident Evil 2 had only shipped 3 million units in its first week, while Resident Evil 3 only hit 3.9 million units after a year and a half on the market. An updated story to this that came out literally today. Resident Evil 4 Remake has now sold over 4 million copies worldwide. Capcom announced today. This comes after Capcom had previously revealed last week that the game sold over 3 million copies in its first 2 days of release. In addition to Resident Evil 4 garnering interest and attention from the release of the change. Okay, never mind. That's just saying things. But anyway, yes, Resident Evil 4 is now pretty much the second best-selling game of all time. And the franchise pretty quickly to be moved past the number 1 selling game, which is RE6. By the way, it is mind-boggling that RE6 sold 4.5 million units on its first day.
That's insane.
First day. Look, I don't even think people were that excited about Resident Evil 6, because like Resident Evil 5 came out and kind of not tarnished the reputation, but people were like, oh, it's definitely more of an action game than a survival horror game now, and nothing from Resident Evil 6 marketing said that any difference. Now, granted, I was one of these.
Well, I had Leon.
It did have Leon
back. I do think really helped it, because obviously the last and what people consider the best Resident Evil 4, they were like, oh shit, we don't really care about Chris Redfield, so that's why Resident Evil 5 probably didn't do as well. But then Leon came back in Resident Evil 6, and they're like, look pretty good. I'm pretty excited, and I'm pretty sure they also showed zombies, which also was like them saying, we're going back, guys. And I think that's what also helped its sales, was people like seeing not only zombies were back, but Leon Kennedy was back, and that was enough to get people sold on it. Which I will admit, Leon's story was probably the best one out of the entire thing.
Oh, easily.
Well, not probably. It is the best story of the entire thing. But that's it. I forgot that is one of the games I did beat. Well, technically I beat. I beat Leon's story. I didn't beat any of the other ones because I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, you beat 25% of the game.
Yeah, well, I didn't care about the other 75% because they were just basically Gears of War third-person shooters, and I'm like, this is not Resident Evil at all.
Chris is Gears of War first-person shooter. Jake's is Melee.
Devil May Cry?
Yeah, well,
maybe?
Not even really. And then Ada's actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
For all the problems, with all the problems that RE6 has, of which there are a litany, it's not the worst thing ever. It's just not Resident Evil. But anyway, there's a cool little chart here that I wanted to shout out. So this has the time frame for each game, each recent game, to hit 4 million units. So obviously RE6 1 day, RE5 took 3 weeks, Village took 3 weeks, Resident Evil 2 took just under 2 months, Resident Evil 7 took 9 months, and Resident Evil 3 Remake took 12 months to hit 4 million units sold. So there you go. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's not a lot of continuation there. It's kind of all over the place. It's more about like, what game is hype and what game wasn't. Because like RE7 was hugely hyped, and it took 9 months for that to reach 4 million, when Village took 3 weeks. So like I said,
I'm actually really surprised that RE4 didn't beat out RE6. Like, I'm still kind of surprised by that, because this is like them again. This is probably the most exciting remake of all of them, and everyone knows usually it's really good. And I think a lot of people had a lot of faith in it, especially after playing the demo. That got people's hype even more. So I'm kind of surprised it didn't beat out Resident Evil 6. Like, that is still kind of mind-boggling that like Resident Evil 6 still has it probably won't outsell this game. I guarantee probably RE4 remake is gonna outsell it.
Oh,
but
well, no,
it is crazy to see what
you see here, 4.5 million first day. It didn't hit 5 million until 12 months later, because everyone realized hey, this game kind of sucks. So yeah, that was Capcom took advantage of marketing on that one. They were like, hey, let's just sell as many we can day one, and then we'll just deal with it later. But yeah, the numbers are a little confusing to me. They're all over the place. But yes, this game will definitely outsell. This will definitely be the best-selling Resident Evil game of all time when we get to the end of it. So I don't think there's any question about that one.
No.
And I think, 4 million in 2 weeks, it's not bad.
Pretty insane.
That's pretty good. Especially,
That's good.
3 million day one. I mean, that's pretty good. God of War, I think, did 5 million in its first week. And God of War Ragnarok's probably a much more hyped game than Resident Evil 4 was. Like, Resident Evil 4 was hyped, but, we're still talking about, a niche-ish style of game and genre. Like, Resident Evil 4 is exciting and a lot of people like it, but it's not on the same level as, like, a Sony first party or Call of Duty or anything like, definitely not a Halo. It's not on the same levels of, like, people are going to play that regardless of what's said about it. Like, it took RE4 all the hype in the world and all the positive critical responses to get there. So
I wonder, how did this game beat out Dead Space remake?
in terms of
That's
sales,
what I'm curious about, because I feel like they're literally the perfect competitors this year, because literally Dead Space came out like a month or two ago, and then RE4 came out, and they're both not exactly the same type of game, but they're both horror, and they're both that third person, and they have a lot of remnants of like the same kind of style in a sense, other than Dead Space is far more horror than this is. But I do think it'd be interesting to see the differences between them and their sales.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up real quick. It looks like it sold around 2 to 3 million copies so far, so definitely not outselling.
Okay, wow.
And apparently they were expecting 6 to 10. So
Damn.
regardless of quality, we're probably not going to get another Dead Space, which definitely sucks.
I do think the $70 price tag also wasn't helping them. When you see this game, it's $60. So I know it's $10 difference, but that means a lot to a lot of people out there. Which I wonder, if they did price it at 60, they probably maybe would have sold a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it's just a remake of an old game, and that's what people look at it. They're like, it's just a remake of an old game. So people are more worthy to pay 60 than pay 70.
Yeah, I don't know. In my mind, that really shouldn't have any sort of relevance on it, but I guess it does. All right, anything else you have to say about Resident Evil 4 sales, at least? There's lots to say.
No, I'm just happy to see it's doing well. I can't wait to see what the next remake is in like the next 2 to 3 years or so.
Well,
I don't remember.
We talked about that, but
yeah,
there's a little thing at the end of the credits, which I think gives us a pretty good idea of where it's going next. So we'll talk about that in the Spoilercast review. So, all right, number 5 on Around the Point. Arc 2 has been delayed once again, this time to 2024. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, there is a next-gen version of the first game that's coming out in August. Reading from the IGN article, speaking... I don't know who this guy is, doesn't say. But anyway, one of the developers said, our goal is to make Arc 2 the best game it can be and provide a truly exceptional and rewarding experience for players. Unreal Engine 5 is incredibly new technology to us all, and we aim to use this cutting-edge tech to its fullest potential while creating a game with never-before-achieved scope at Studio Wildcard. As we learn more about the engine and develop the sequel, we have adapted our workflows and adjusted our pipelines to accommodate this new next-gen paradigm, and because of everything that it involves, we need more time to do the development. Additionally, Studio Wildcard acknowledged that these challenges also mean that ARC 2 will not be backwards compatible, so that means no ARC 2 on Xbox One or PS4. But there is some good news for ARC 1 fans because the significant design changes from the original game. Sorry, I read all of that wrong. Apparently, it's going to be more like Soulsborne combat than the original game. Anyway, are you an ARC fan?
Never played it.
Me neither.
So
I guess this is just an announcement to everybody. And then, like I said, there's a next-gen version of ARC 1 coming out later this year. But mostly I want to say, is it just me, or does every single Unreal Engine 5 game seem to be getting delayed because people haven't quite figured out how to use the engine yet? It feels like every single game recently that we've talked about getting delayed, it's like, oh, we need more time to work in Unreal Engine 5. And what do you think?
I think it's mainly the problem is that they keep updating Unreal Engine 5, and with each new update, it's been pretty big things with it, like big changes. And then they're like, well, God, maybe we could do more now since this update came out. Because like some of them have done, like especially 5.1, I believe, they added a lot for foliage and stuff, and especially for like people that make a lot of games like dealing with forest and all that, they're probably like, damn, we should probably push it back so that we can actually work with the new foliage system, which will help a lot. And then now we have 5.2, which added a lot to make environmental designs a lot easier to make and set up. So like honestly, I think it's because I keep updating Unreal Engine 5, it keeps slowing people down, I feel like. I don't know, maybe that's just a theory. I have no freaking clue. I couldn't tell you. But I just want to see a game come out that's not by Epic. I'm not counting Fortnite. Fortnite is not the first. I know it's made with Unreal Engine 5 now. I want to see a third party or first party or etc. developer that's not dealing with Epic make a Unreal Engine 5 game. I want to see one. I really just want to see an Unreal Engine 5 full-fledged game, but we still haven't yet. So like, I know a lot of people keep hyping it up, but I want to see it with my eyes. I want to see what an Unreal Engine 5 game actually looks like. That's not made by Epic. That's what I can't wait.
Did Fortnite get updated to
Yeah, but that's made by Epic.
Though. Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that. I was just asking.
Yeah, but I like a lot of people thought Redfall was made with Unreal Engine 5, and for some reason on like Wiki it says it is, but no, it's Unreal Engine 4, so that's not an Unreal Engine 5 game. I just want to see an Unreal Engine 5 game, a full-fledged, full-blown, full-on, just Unreal Engine 5 game made by someone.
I hope that's not UE5 because UE5 looks an awful lot like UE4. So
I know, right? Yeah.
So all right.
So
well, let's hope the people over there at ARC 2 make a great game, and the people who love ARC make that. Isn't that the game with
dinosaurs and stuff?
Oh no, I know that.
Oh like, yeah, I know. Yeah, the Vin Diesel trailer. Yeah.
Fuck, that was announced a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about ARC, so I've seen like Let's Plays of it, but I don't really know too much about it.
It's just a survival game, but it's like
one of the OGs, right?
Future, and I don't know if it's an OG, but it's been out for a couple years.
I think the original.
It's not like Rust or anything. Like Rust is before that time, or.
I mean, ARC came out in 2015.
And I think Rust came out in 2014, right? Or before that, probably.
Isn't Rust that game where you play God?
No, Rust is like another. It's kind of a survival game. That's a server. It's a lot like ARC in a sense, but without dinosaurs.
You are correct. It came out in 2013.
Oh, So, and then there was a game before that I know was really like Daisy, all that stuff. That's way before this game. ARC's a bit of a later one, but it is a popular one because it is a bit wacky and cool. Like you get dinosaurs, you get guns, and it's like a weird mix between like cavemanish to like futuristic. It's very weird.
Daisy came out 5 days after Rust.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, technically, Daisy Mod was before that. Daisy 2, or not Daisy 2, Arma 2 had a Daisy mod, and then I think Arma 3 came out with a Daisy mod, and then Daisy came out as its own thing
Oh, yeah, is a
later
standalone
on.
game based on the mod of the same name, Armor 2. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about the survival genre.
I used
so.
to I used to be really obsessed with Daisy, like way back when I was a kid. I loved Arma 2 Daisy. It was so cool.
Sounds
But I
like
never
something
played
fun.
it myself, so.
All right, number 6 on Around the Point. According to a very credible source, PlayStation and Sony are set to release a dedicated handheld designed around remote play and Sony's continued investment in that style of play. This reading from the Insider Gaming article written by Mr. Tom Henderson, who is a very, very credible source. He has leaked the existence of the PS5 Slim with the removable disk drive, the existence of the PS5 Pro. He's been consistent that that'll come out probably next year, and this is what he had to say about this. Following days of speculation, Insider Gaming can report that there's a new PlayStation handheld in development, codenamed the Q Lite. The next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing these past couple of weeks. Supporting adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 frames a second, the new device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As for the console's physical features, early prototypes show the console will look a lot like a PS5 controller with a massive 8-inch LCD touchscreen in the center. The device will support adaptive triggers for haptic feedback, and will include what would come to expect from a handheld: volume button, speakers, audio jack, etc. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is in its QA phase and is scheduled to release before the PlayStation 5 Pro and after the detachable disc PS5 sometime in 2024. This report was backed up by Mr. Jeff Grubb, who also said it is the second phase, is a part of the second phase of the PS5, which we have been hearing consistently about, which includes the detachable disc drive PS5, Project Nomad, the wireless earphones, Project Voyeur, the wireless headset, and now the Q Lite, the handheld, all scheduled to release within a very short period of time, somewhere in the early 2024, late 2023 timeframe. What do you think about this, man? This is a pretty big story. Interesting. I'm not a believer of remote play, but it works more surprisingly than I ever thought it could. I've actually tried booting up remote play while I was at work, and it does work.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I
wouldn't recommend this for Call of Duty, but for like slower paced games, this is an option to play on the go.
I think the better option they should have done is kind of just went for the backbone thing. Because everyone literally has a phone and it does exactly the same thing this thing is going to do, and you don't need an entire different device for it. I don't know about that. Like that this whole thing just sounds kind of dumb. Like it might sell some people. It's just like the whole like very weird Logitech device that came out, that literally the whole point of the device is literally strictly just to play cloud games, and it has no other things to it. Like it's just a portable device with a controller mounted to it with a big screen, and all it's meant for is just playing cloud games. That's it. That's its whole thing. I just don't see why they need to come out with this. Like, if anything, just do a Backbone thing. And I know they partnered with Backbone, but maybe just make your own. Just make your own Backbone thing. And then just come out with that. That makes far more sense, in my opinion, than coming out with an entire device that literally you could do the same thing on your phone that you carry with you every day. That's, in my opinion, better.
That's how I play remote play. I hook my DualSense up to my phone's Bluetooth, and I just play remote play like that. And excuse me, like I said, it does work. I'm with you. I don't know how great of an idea it is. It definitely depends on the price point. I mean, if this comes in, let's say,
like $100, maybe.
Well, the Backbone's $100, so I don't expect it to be any cheaper than that. I'd say maybe $150 because you are adding in, a screen and all that. I don't know. Even at $150, even at $100 for the Backbone, it just it seems expensive for an alternative way to play your console. Granted, this is coming from a guy in me, a man in me, that doesn't really play on the go too often, I don't do a lot of stuff where I have to like go to meetings and I'm traveling a whole lot. So I guess for people who do travel quite a bit, I know some of the podcasts I listen to and some of the people I talk to, they use the remote play app when they're going on a business trip and they're sitting in a hotel and they boot up the remote play app and it connects to the PS5 at home and they can play their games. And like I said, credit where credit's due. It does work. It's not the greatest experience ever. It's not like running a game natively on your phone or anything like that, but it does work and you can play games. It says I wouldn't recommend it for like competitive Call of Duty play, but maybe if you want to boot up some COD campaign or a turn-based JRPG, like I said, it does work. But all that outside of the fact that it actually works, I'm kind of with you. It seems like an odd choice. Like the article points out, it's another PlayStation and Sony device that's designed solely to run parallel to the PS5. Now, I think one thing that they could capture here, well, no, there's no way to really do that. That'd be very pared down. I would say like maybe make the device dedicated, like pretty much a PS5 portable, but there's literally no way to do that, and that would be $300 device. So because you would essentially be a Steam Deck competitor, if not more. So maybe like this is like the half measure, but we've seen time and time again half measures don't work in electronics. Like if you're gonna make a handheld device, make a handheld device. Like I'm sorry, just make a PSP 2.
It just reminds me of the weird PlayStation TV thing that came out.
Yeah,
that died absurdly quickly. Like,
which was not
sadly,
good.
I own one of them. But
dude, I'll take it off.
I mainly got it because I like the Vita thing. Like, you can actually play Vita games on it. So that had more use
not
than
all
what
of them,
this is going to have.
Because it doesn't have a touchscreen, so.
That's fair. But it still let you play games on there without having to do, like, to stream. It wasn't just meant for that. But this is strictly just meant to remote play. And, again, I don't know how many people this is going to sell to. Because, like, I don't see the point. When especially you have a phone, you could probably buy some kind of controller thing. But it doesn't have to even be the backbone. It could be something else. And it's the same thing, and it's probably way cheaper. I mean, technically, it's not way cheaper if you count how much it costs to have a phone, but you have a phone already. I guarantee you already have it. Everyone pretty much in this world, other than, like, parents that lived in the 1950s, has a phone at this point. I know, I'm pulling the Diablo Immortal thing. Don't you guys have a phone? Like, you have a phone at this moment. And basically, from what I could probably tell, I think about every smartphone at this point can do remote play. I don't know how well. I don't know how. I don't have a test. I'm not, Marquez Brownlee. I don't have a million phones to go test right now to tell you how much remote play. But I'm sure your phone can do remote play at this point. And so
it's just an app. So
yeah.
Yeah, if your phone has the ability
some phones have older processors, so maybe they can't handle it. I don't know. I can't say, but I'm gonna say most people out there, as a general thing, you probably have a phone that can do it by now. So I don't see the point of it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's just one of them weird decisions. Like, I don't really know how to explain it other than it feels like a half step. Like I want a new PlayStation handheld. Like I've said for years on this podcast, and before we ever started doing this, I said to you, PlayStation Vita was 5 years ahead of its time. I mean, look at the Switch and the Switch's success. Like, it made what the Vita did a lot easier, a lot more simplified, and people love the Switch. So, I mean, I think I made the statement on the show, the Vita died so the Switch could live. Like, the Vita was the first Switch. And I just think Sony did not do a good job of marketing it, or maybe they were just too early and people weren't there yet. So
yeah, well, like I said, the best option to do that again, and I brought this up a couple episodes ago, was a really cool idea I had. Was they basically make a underpowered PS5? They make like a Series S in a sense, and it is next gen compatible. It can play all the games. But obviously that comes with the caveat of it being lower performance. But that also adds the benefit that the fact that it's portable And what they could do is kind of do like with the Switch, if you really wanted to, have a dock. And you could dock it in there, play it on your TV. Obviously, you're probably going to get like 1080p gaming, but you have to understand the fact that it's a portable device. So you could play it on a TV, like a Switch, and then take it out and play it on the go. And boom, bada bing, it's basically the Steam Deck, but a PlayStation one that can play all PS5 games. That's a cool idea I had. It's very unique. It's very interesting. It could be kind of how the Series S is. It's aiming for the people that don't really care about super high performance or 4K, but they also will even have the benefit of it being portable. And it would not only sell to those people, but it'll sell to people like me and you who already own a PS5. Then we could take our games on the go. So we could be like, oh, I have my, let's call it the PS5 Go. I don't know, that's a dumb name, but still, you say I'm taking my PS5 Go, I'm going out town, I play that game, come back, it's cloud saves, get back on my PS5, start playing on the TV. Boom. Boom. Sold. Right? Everyone would buy that. Everyone buy that. Now, that's easier said than done, but I'm just saying.
Well, yeah,
that's the way to go, in my opinion.
There's a lot of software that involves. Like, that sounds super great, but then again, we're talking about, I don't know, minimum $300 device, $400 device,
Mm-hmm.
And
it would still sell.
I don't know.
Guarantee it.
I see this coming in at $149.99, $150. Like, you think, just taking at the most baseline, you got a DualSense 5. That's not right. You have a DualSense $70 base. Throw a screen on there, and essentially you got to have that be able to connect to the internet and do all these other things. Like, I think 150 is probably the lowest. I would probably like to say this is going to come in at 200, $199.99, which sounds too high for what it is.
Yeah.
An accessory to a console. Now, I'm sure there's
people... At that point, people are probably like, I'd rather just get a Switch Lite. And at that point, I would just say, yeah, go get a Switch Lite.
Or, if this rumored PS5 Slim with the removable disc drive does come out, that'll probably come in at the same price as the digital console, so $400. You're halfway to a PS5 at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want the disc drive like you, that would honestly be a perfect console for you, with the removable disc drive. And if all the rumors to be believed, that is the main SKU going forward. So you'll buy that console. If you want the disc drive, you can buy that separately. If you don't, then you can just buy the digital only version of it. And I think that's actually a fairly intelligent way to do it, because you essentially cut the cost of your console by $100. Without having to make any sort of compromises at all. You already have a $400 console.
Plus, they can focus on just making the consoles then. One console. And then they can, sell that disc drive as a side thing. And I think that's smart. I don't see anything wrong with that. Some people might be upset by us saying that, but it is smart, and it's that way they're being able to sell it to both people. And it's just an adapter. And a lot of people don't play games on disc anymore. So they're like, shit, I get to pay a cheaper price and get it digitally, then sweet. And then the people are like, oh, all I got to do is buy the system, go to the store, pick up the disc drive accessory, and boom, bada bing.
I've always thought Sony made a misstep with marketing the PS5. Because the PS5 is technically $399.
Mm-hmm.
But they never really marketed that way, and they never really pushed that device. So they came out with a disc, which is the same price as the Xbox Series X. And I feel like there was a huge opportunity. They could have undercut Xbox and be like, look, we have super similar performance for $100 cheaper. It's essentially how they won the PS4 generation.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it a huge point to market that, we're giving you as good, in PS4 case, if not better. In this case, the Series X is marginally better to a small degree.
Yeah.
But I've always felt like they made a slight misstep with that, and especially since they don't push the digital console at all. Dude, I work at a place where we sell it. We have at any time 20 PS5 discs versions, and maybe one or two digital. And I just always felt like they really missed the mark, and they could have undercut significantly what Xbox was doing, which again is how they won the generation beforehand, how they dominated the generation beforehand. Granted, they still have a good lead, but they could have been better, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a random tangent that didn't matter at all about this weird handheld console. But yeah, I think Logan and I are on the same page here. It just seems like an odd investment, even though, like I said, I do understand how remote play does work. I mean, shit, man, I have a remote play app on my computer. I can play my PS4, my PS5 games on my computer. Don't know why I wouldn't just take the 5 steps to go play it in my living room. But I mean, if Peyton is playing on there, I can technically come in here and play PlayStation games. It's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. That is smart. It's basically the PlayStation TV thing without needing the stupid PlayStation TV.
Yeah,
you can just do it anywhere.
The remote stuff that they're doing is actually a cool technology. I just don't think enough people... Well, there's either two things. They don't let people know how it works and sell it enough, or people just generally don't understand / care about the console's ability to do something like that. And I don't know if the Xbox has a remote play functionality. I know they have cloud, but I don't know if they have remote play function. I don't have an Xbox, so I would have no clue.
I don't think they have remote play, but the cloud is honestly pretty nice. Like I've used the cloud a couple times. It works very well. I mean, obviously, it has its issues, just like any other streaming thing. It's it has latency, and depending on how good your internet is how bad the latency will be. For my internet, especially, it's not great. Like I've tried to play a couple games through cloud on my Xbox, and it's not strong enough to handle those games. Like even just playing, like, I don't know, I tried Just Cause 4, and I was like, I just want to try it out. So I put it on cloud, and it was awful, to say the least. But I have tried remote play. It's pretty cool. I haven't actually like taken the time. I don't never have a controller on me when I'm out of town or like when I'm out and everything. I kind of want to bring a controller with me at some point and actually try out remote play from a distance with a controller, because playing remote play on a phone, well, it's basically useless because you can't really do anything.
It's all touch controls.
That's why, again, if I was them, just make a thing where you could plug it into your phone, like the Backbone, because then it's small. You can carry it with you at all times, and all you gotta do is just pull it out, boom, put it on your controller, boom, start playing. That easy.
I think maybe one thing they might be looking at here is they're trying to eliminate the need to have 2 different SKUs and 2 different devices. Because with the Backbone, the big thing is you have to get an Android compatible or an iPhone compatible because the connectors are different. Not for long, but they still are right now.
Next iPhone is going to go to USB-C, so yeah.
Well, it has to. So yeah. People made it so. So, but I don't know. I've always actually wanted a Backbone. I actually asked for a Backbone for Christmas, and if it wasn't for a shipping error, I was gonna have one. But even at $100, I'm like, it still feels like a lot of money for a device that I would only use marginally. So I still haven't bought one. I still have a gift card to go buy it, but I haven't bought it. So I'm probably going to use that gift card on my new CPU. So, all right, let's keep it going. Like I said, overall, weird device. We'll see how it works out. If they can somehow manage to keep the price down on this, like let's say $129, that's a good price for something like this. But I don't see that happening at all. So, all right, our next news story, number 7. On Around the Point. ID at Xbox had their April 2023 showcase. If those of you that don't know what this is kind of like the indies. Nintendo has their indie showcase. Xbox has their ID at Xbox. So this is something they've been doing for quite a few years now, working and pairing with indie developers and helping them get their games to market. I'd say overall a good to great thing in the industry. So anyway, we'll run through some of these games. I'm going to do this in big batches, and then just see if you have anything to say about any of the games. So there were 11 total games in the show. I'm not going to go through a breakdown of each one, but I guess if you want to know the breakdown out there, you can go look these up on your own time and all that. But we'll talk about if anything tickled our ball sack, you know what I'm saying? All right, Vampire Survivors Tides of Foscari expansion gets a gameplay deep dive and an interview. It took about 15 minutes. The Last Case of Benedict Fox gets an extended gameplay trailer focused on combat, which I did watch. I still think this game looks awesome. Cassette Beast, a turn-based RPG with an 80s vibe and a bit of a Pokemon-style aesthetic to it, comes out on Game Pass on April 26, 2023. Omega Strikers, a mashup of soccer and air hockey, also comes out on April 27th, so one day later. But it's a 3 versus 3 match. The Carters 2, turbocharged gameplay. Apparently another kart racer. Didn't even know there was a first one. Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly task you. We talked about this game last week. Yeah, it comes out on Game Pass, April 20th, 2023. Actually, I think it looks kind of interesting. Homestead Arcana, a farming witch simulator that has you healing the world, comes out on Game Pass on April 21st, 2023. Closer the Distance. That seems like a typical error, but explores how a community deals and moves on after a tragedy. Will come out fairly soon on Xbox and PC. The Elaborator, a semi-open world fantasy first-person shooter with a striking art style, will come out soon on Xbox and PC.
You mean the Explorator? I thought you just said the Elaborator.
I probably did. The Explorator.
Dude, this game, by the way, looks awesome.
It's a terrible name, but
yeah, but it's so freaking cool looking. The style, I can't wait.
Man, you really are an FPS guy. You see FPS and you're like, I'm gonna watch that.
Dude, and there's some other ones I'll talk about too. But
I was like, I've been talking about the last case of Benedict Fox, and I don't even know if you even pay attention to that.
Oh no, I don't care about that game. There is another game. I do kind of think the Coffee Talk looked kind of cool too.
All right, let me get.
Sorry, I thought we were trying to wait till we were finished before I said anything.
There's only two more.
I did want to jump in about the Explorator because that looks very cool.
All right. Little Godsman will have you deciding the fate of over 100 different characters trying to enter a kingdom. Sees its release later this year in 2023. And finally, Cabaret, a dark fantasy folklore adventure game with monsters from Southeast Asian myths, comes out sometime. Doesn't have a release date. So there you go. That was all the games. Anything you want to dive deeper into here? I want to shout out, as always, The Last Case of Benedict Fox looks so fucking cool. And eventually Logan's going to look at it.
I think one game that looked kind of cool, but it basically is just Papers, Please, but with medieval on it. Which I don't know if you know what Papers, Please is, but it's kind of cool. That Little Guardsman game is basically Papers, Please, but in a medieval theme, I guess. Because you're basically, people come through and you get to choose their fate. And the trailer gave me just hardcore vibes of Papers, Please. And yeah, that was kind of cool. I've always wanted to try Papers, Please. I've watched a lot of gameplay on it, and I thought it was really, really cool. And Little Guardsman looks a lot of the same. Looks very cool. Very interesting art style for the type of game it is. But I do think it looks pretty cool. All I've been saying is cool. It looks interesting. It looks fun. That's the best way to describe it. And the story looks very interesting as well. But the Explorator for sure blew me away. The art style looks fantastic. It looks very different. Definitely piqued my interest more than any other one. And I think especially because, it is an FPS. But it just looks different and interesting and just way out of the left field compared to most FPS games. It just looks different. And
I'm watching it. I just watched someone get blown up into guts and pieces. That was cool.
Yeah. Again, that's probably the most exciting one for me. Coffee Talk looks kind of cool. I do like the art style. It seems very, obviously very story driven. I don't know much about it other than what do you do in it? Like, do you just is it like a, I don't even know what kind of game it is. It's like one of those games where you make choices throughout the thing, kind of like a Life is Strange. Is that what I'm getting from it? Because it's like episode 2, that's all it's giving me. It's giving me vibes of like Telltale and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, because this is a sequel. Well, it's not a sequel, I guess. It's episode 2. It's like you are the coffee shop owner and like you're serving people. But they're like talking about their stories and their problems, and they like ask you things every now and then. So it is like a kind of a choose your own adventure with like also kind of like the service industry type games idea behind it.
The other game that looked really cool, I thought Cassette Beast looked really cool too from the trailer. I really like the very interesting and weird mix between a Pokemon game and then like very 80s with like the cassette tape being like basically a Pokeball. Like you capture them with the cassette tape and then you could copy them and play them in combat and everything. And again, it's very hardcore Pokemon basically, but just like very 80s.
Dude.
It looks kind of cool. It actually looks better than what Pokemon looks today. I'll tell you that, art style wise and everything, which is sad to say, but that's the truth.
Look up the trailer. Not look up, it's right here on the article, but look at the trailer for the Carters 2. It looks almost identical to CTR. Crash Team Racing, for those people who don't know. I mean, it has the same like drifting animations, and I don't know if it has the same drift mechanics, but like the way you shoot things out there. I mean, obviously it's a kart racing game, so it's all gonna look like Mario Kart, but this looks extensively like Crash Team Racing.
6 players split screen. Holy crap. That's pretty crazy.
I don't even have 6 friends.
You know what it reminds me of? Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Well, that was out of left field. That was out of left field comment. That's not what I was anticipating at all.
Well, the like squirrel on the thing. I haven't really watched the. Yeah, it definitely looks insanely a lot. It looks really damn close to Crash Team Racing, but it also gives me a little bit of vibes of not Crash Bandicoot. Conker's Bad Fur Day. But it's not like bloody like Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's obviously a lot more kiddish and everything, but it does kind of give me that vibe with the main person they're showing in this trailer, the like squirrel looking lady or whatever.
Bro, I'm sitting here watching The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I'm telling you, this might be a day one for me. I'm so excited for this game. It looks so good. It might make me get Game Pass again. I have a free month.
Yeah.
When does Redfall come out? It comes out early May, right?
I thought it was June.
Definitely not June. May 2nd. Yeah, definitely not June.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, if I get my free Game Pass, this comes out April 27th. There we go. Redfall's right there. I can play it with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to use my free month of Game Pass for. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Oh, one cool thing is to shout out the expansion for Vampire Survivors. $199.
Yeah.
For an entire expansion pass.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. They've been adding a lot of stuff to that game. I played a little bit of it, but I've only played it on my phone. And I will admit, it is pretty damn fun. It's pretty addicting, but I haven't played it since.
Everyone says it's really fun.
It is. It doesn't look like much. Trust me, It's not a looker. But it's actually pretty addicting.
It's a lot like us then.
It's very. Oh, damn.
It's
just like us. But no, it's a pretty addicting kind of game. It's a lot about like the more you play, the more you progress, and it's basically like you trying to survive as long as possible. It's pretty fun. Give it a try. If you can either pick it up on deep sale on Steam, which deep sale is like it's already only $5 the game. You can pick it up for like $2.
It's like
and on
cheap.
Game Pass it's completely free. So if you really want to do that too, either way, and it's on phone for free as well. But I don't think it has as much as like the PC and Xbox version.
That's a 10 out of that's a 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Really, yeah. It's a lot more fun than you think. It's very just simple fun. That's the best way to describe it from what I've played.
Simple fun. That was my nickname in college. Okay, let's move on. Oh, Jesus. All right. I always forget the number. Number 8 on Around the Point. God of War Ragnarok finally gets its New Game Plus mode. Here are some of the details. Once you start New Game Plus mode, you have the armor of the Black Bear, which is what people have been clamoring for. It's the armor that you have in the original game. You get to finally wear it now and equip it throughout the entirety of your playthrough. Other armors you get is the returns from the original game, the Spartan armor and the Ares armor and the Zeus armor with the Spartan Aspis shield. The new one is the Spartan armor itself. So those are returns. There'll also be a level increase cap from level 9 all the way up to level 10. And a litany of new rewards and things to go out there and find it. I watched a video on this and it seems like pretty extensive. Like, you get brand new materials and all that from like the bosses in New Game Plus mode. And they're really different. And every time you upgrade, you get like these things called these gilded coins. So every time you upgrade your piece of gear, you get these things called the gilded coins, which then allows you to trade it in for more engravings and badges for your enchantments and all that. It seems actually pretty in depth. I'm actually pretty impressed. Granted, yes, it took them a while. I guess
Yeah,
3
a
months,
bit of a time. Yeah.
4 months. Yeah. So it took them a little longer than I would like to see this kind of stuff, but at least it's not just, replay the game with all your stuff. It seems like it's a pretty significant upgrade where you can do a lot more stuff within the game. It changes quite a bit of it in the game. So, what do you think? Have you ever gone back and played Ragnarok, or did you just play it the first time? I know you actually have more time in it than I do because I looked at your stuff, and you've actually played more than I have. So,
Like, what do you mean? Like, recently have I gone back into it? Or are you saying like
just
I
in
went
general.
back in? I went back in a couple times to go do some boss fights, but I never ended up beating all the end game bosses, and I don't even think I finished all the end game area and like the like what I call the desert looking area of the don't remember the world, but the
Oh,
one with Freya's brother, that environment, that realm.
well, that was Vanaheim. The desert one is the one with the elves, not Vanaheim. Vanaheim's the
Oh,
one
then
with.
not that place, but it's like the more like you get transported on that boat to that area with the dragons and all that. Uh, you don't remember, do you? The one where there's like a bunch of dragon, like there's a dragon, there's a couple dragons you have to fight there. You know what I mean?
Ragnarok Realms. I don't know. I don't remember.
Remember when that guy gets hit off,
Alpine.
like jumps
No,
off?
sorry. Vanaheim is the one you're talking about. Alfheim is the one with the Freya's brother. I had that backwards.
Yeah, well, it was in that same area. Like it's a part of that realm, I guess. So it's like farther away. You get it later in the game. I never went back and did all the stuff there, so I would love to go back and do it, but man, I have so many other games I need to play.
Yeah, that's the only problem with this
I
stuff
would
coming
love
out.
to go and play this in New Game Plus because I played a little bit of the first game in New Game Plus, and I thought that was really cool. This one seems really awesome with all the classic armors and stuff. I would love to go back in, but I'm like, when am I gonna have time?
Yeah.
And especially beating it again. I mean, I could, I guess, speed run it. I don't have to do all the side stuff. I could just go right through it again.
No, you can't because all the enemies level up with you. So as you continue to level up, all the enemies there's level scaling in Ragnarok. So
That's fair. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, seems like maybe it's something I'll save for my next playthrough when the third game starts coming out. Well, I guess technically
Yeah.
it's the eighth game. I don't know. It's a lot of games. So, all right, number 9 on around the point. We're getting close to the end here. Let's do some of these last ones. Hold on, let me get in the timestamp because I forgot. I forgot the timestamps like this entire episode. So, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has its PC specs revealed, and they all seem actually fairly reasonable outside of the fact that you apparently need 155 gigabytes of storage for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which can only mean one of two things. This is a massive game on the scale that we're not ready or anticipating for, or they didn't compress a single file size in this game. So I'll run through the specs. The minimum specs is, like I said, are fairly reasonable.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm like,
yeah.
literally RTX. Sorry, go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're
Go.
good.
You got this.
Ryzen 5 for first gen Ryzen at 1400, and then RX 5800, which is before they even came out with the Radeon series of graphics card. And like Logan was saying, you need a 7th gen i7 and a 1070 on the GTX size. The recommended, however, sees it brought up to modern standards with Ryzen 5 5600, RX 6700 on the graphics card, or an 11th gen i5 with the RTX 2070 being the recommended. So honestly, fairly well optimized, it feels like, especially on the lower side. Now, to run it at high end and all that, you're going to need a modern computer. But for people who, haven't upgraded in a while, have an entry level thing, you can play this, fairly well optimized. That storage space, though. That storage space is off the chain, man.
155, man. That's brutal.
That's only
This has to be pretty dang huge, like the world.
Or like I said, or just poorly compressed. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Warzone on my computer, Modern Warfare 2 is like 180. So you're telling me this game is only 30 gigabytes smaller than...
And Red Dead's like 120.
Yeah.
And that game's pretty dang huge. So...
Like,
I don't know, man. I think the last game was only like 40, 50 gigs, I believe.
Yeah, well, that was on the
This is
consoles. I don't know what it's like on PC.
Well, I wonder how much it's going to be on console still. I wonder that.
Well, yeah, I'll be really interested to see the compression rate that like,
Mhm.
especially that like PlayStation does, because PlayStation has the entire compression engine built into the console, which has allowed file sizes to remain kind of okay. Not Call of Duty, but kind of okay. Although I think it is like 20 or 30 gigabytes smaller than the PC version, which we're still
Yeah.
talking about 150 plus, so it's still a lot. But yeah, that seems like an awful lot for what is still just going to be a single player game. And it's not like every single world is open world. It's still got the same world structure as Jedi Order does. Sorry, Fallen Order did. Jedi Order. Which, by the way, can we talk about how fucked up this naming scheme is? So the name of the series is Star Wars Jedi. And then the subtitles are Fallen Order and Survivor.
Survivor, yeah.
That's every time I type it out in the document, I always screw it up. And I don't know why. Anyway, anything else you have left on this?
No.
All right. Well, hopefully you can clear out some space on your 4 terabyte computer over there to play this game. Even though I know you're not excited to play it. I still don't know why, but you're not excited to play it. You freaking weirdo. All right, our final news story, number 10 on Around the Point. We got to the big 1-0 number this time. Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone Season 3 details have been revealed over on the PlayStation blog. Full details revealed, coming out on April 12th, very shortly. So I'm going to try to make this as understandable as possible. But 5 new multiplayer maps, 4 new game modes, a new Spec Ops raid, and all new Warzone 2.0 stuff. Resurgence, ranked play for Warzone 2.0, more operators, apparently gunfights coming back again. Why do they keep taking that out and bringing it back over and over again? Like, that's just more annoying than anything.
What? What is it?
Gunfight.
Oh, I know.
I know people love gunfight, and they're like, "Oh, it's coming back," and then, "Oh, it's going away." It's like that. It's like that meme with like the fucking carrot on the end of the stick. Like, you just gotta continually chase it and all that. Anyway, I'll let you talk about most of this. You know a lot more about this because I've never played a single game of Warzone 2.0 to the dismay of my partner over here, Logan, the Birdman Leffler. But
someday. Well, you just call me Leffler.
that's not your name. Bergman,
no,
my
it's
bad.
Not. Dare you?
I was like, that sounded
that's
weird
tough.
when I said that.
Yeah,
I
was like,
said
wait,
that,
what?
and I was paused. I was like, something went wrong here. Sorry. Anyway, go through this. Let people know what is good, what is bad about here. What do you think? You know a lot more about this stuff than I do, so it would sound illogical coming from me. So,
All right. Well, I'll give them this. At least this season, they're actually coming out with some original maps. Wow, only took 3 seasons. Second season they did add a new map, but it wasn't until literally the very end, and at that point, I haven't been playing Call of Duty in a while. I would love to get back into it, but most of the reason I want to go back into it is if I play with people, and a lot of people I know don't really have time, or there's a certain person named Mike here that will never play Warzone 2, which is frustrating. So someday maybe I'll get back in and play more of it.
When am I supposed to play it in my defense?
You have time.
When?
I don't know. Sometime. When there's gotta be a lull at some point pretty soon.
I mean, right now, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's what I mean.
Until April 19th when Burning Shores comes out.
Exactly.
And then we go straight into Burning Shores, into Fallen Order, into Redfall, into... I think there's actually a lull after Redfall. And then we go straight into Diablo, Final Fantasy 16. Oh, shit, I forgot Tears of the Kingdom in there.
Yeah.
What?
Well, sometime soon, hopefully, because I would love to play it. I really do think Warzone 2 is a lot of fun, but it's not a game I like to play by myself. It's a multiplayer game. That means multiple people, not just me. So I don't like playing Warzone by myself. I find that to be really boring.
I'm going to check the Oxford Dictionary on that fact. I don't think multiplayer means more than 2.
No, are you sure? But okay, so this new season, they're adding new characters, which we've seen in the campaign. I'm happy they're finally being added in. I actually really like Alejandro. I think he's a really cool dude in the campaign. And then obviously everyone's favorite, the girl from the campaign. Not going to say the reasons why, but everyone finds her pretty dang attractive, as you would say. She's going to be a new operator added as well in this season. Obviously they're adding gunfight finally. Again, I feel like it should have been there day one because it was already a very popular mode in 2019. And are you doing?
Speaking of attractive side
Yeah.
story, can we talk about how hot Ada Wong is?
Yes. Well, of
Okay.
course.
Okay. I just want to throw
Yeah.
that out there.
Yeah.
All right, back to Call of Duty. Sorry, I thought about that.
But yeah, Gunfight's back. I love Gunfight. I actually that's what really got me to buy 2019. I played it in the beta, and I'm like, Gunfight's actually super fun. It's just, I don't know, something about it. It kind of brings me back to like Airsoft days, where it's like you get these really 2v2, you get one life, and it deals with a lot of teamwork, and it's just really fun in general. So I might come back and try that out for sure. Again, the 2 new core maps that they're adding Palejos, Lighthouse. Sounds kind of cool. Definitely will have to check out when it comes out. This one's kind of a very surprising one. It's called Black Gold. And what's surprising about it is the fact that they're making it a night vision map. It's the first iteration of night ops in Modern Warfare 2. Use your night vision goggles and the available light sources to track down and eliminate the enemy team. What I find fascinating about it is 2019 added this in, and it failed spectacularly within like the first month, and it was gone. So I'm kind of surprised to see it coming back. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was an interesting, different take on it. I wonder if they're going to be adding 2 different versions of this map. One maybe during daytime, or I don't know. Maybe straight up is just going to be a night ops map. I'm kind of surprised they're ballsy enough to add this back because, well, 2019 it lasted a month. It seems like they're adding a new battle map, which is Rohan oil fields. This map, I think what's even more fascinating is Satik Cave Complex, which the fact that they didn't add this as a core map really disgusts me. Oh, wait. The fact that this is literally from Modern Warfare 2. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's not Crash. It is... Damn, I feel like a fake fan. I don't remember the name of it. But it's an AC-130 crashed in. There's a bunch of bunkers and everything. Literally, Satik Cave Complex is literally a Modern Warfare 2 map. And I'm pretty excited to play this. I love that map in Modern Warfare 2. I really hope they're going to add this as a core map down the line. Because this map was like one of my favorites from Modern Warfare 2. I'm also still waiting for Terminal to be added when they literally have Terminal in the game in Warzone 2. Both these maps are technically in Warzone 2. So just add them as core maps. They're very easy, cut in, put in. You know, I would totally be fine with that. Just don't make them as updates. Like just put them in as a bonus. But yeah, that's really cool. Supposedly they're adding a 5th brand new core map. Which I wonder what it's going to be. I kind of think it is going to be this cave complex map. So who knows? They're adding Horde, which are they're adding Infected to Ground War again, which by the way is insanely fun. I loved it in 2019. It's basically 64 players and it's Infected, and trust me, it gets pretty damn crazy playing Infected with a ton of players. So that looks really cool. They're adding Cranked, which I know a lot of people really like. It's not really for me, but it's really cool because it's basically, well, if you don't get any kills in a certain amount of time, you blow up and die. So, other than that, they're adding new multiplayer ranked rewards. I don't care because basically Core is ranked at this point because of, shitty ass, what is it? I can't think of it at the moment. My brain's, blanking at the moment. But they're also adding a new raid episode. Still haven't played a single one of them, but that's because you kind of need friends to play it with. So I haven't played a single raid episode. I heard they're really fun. I heard they're really challenging. And I don't know. It'd be cool to try out at some point. But you need a team of 4. Or I think it's a team of 3. No, I think it's a team of 4 in order to do it. So it looks kind of cool. Like to try it at some point. Adds Massive Resurgence. Massive Resurgence is coming down Mazra, which is taking place across the entire map. Higher player count to be better fit in the playing field. Okay. Plunder. They're bringing back. That's kind of cool. I loved Plunder. So it was eliminate enemy players, scavenging. Yeah, Plunder was really fun in Warzone 1. I thought that was a very just more casual, fun kind of thing for Warzone 1. It was just like a it was a lot less serious. It was a lot less of you dying and you're out for the game. It was just more like big TDM. Like you're basically trying to collect as much money as possible. It was actually really fun. I actually thought Plunder was good. I'm happy they're bringing it back. They're supposedly updating the Gulag. Cool. It's probably just gonna be, just a new gunfight, 2v2 map. Or I think it's 1v1 now. And they're adding some bonuses to Warzone, just changing a lot of things. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Also they're adding some new DMZ stuff, which I want DMZ to be very good. I did play a little bit of DMZ with some friends, and I do think it's kind of fun. But the lack of progression and the lack of your money actually mattering kind of killed me a little bit on it. And it looks like they're kind of doing something like that. So you could trade unwanted items in your inventory using the new barter system found in buy stations. Kind of cool. Workbench for a small fee. Add or remove attachments on contraband weapons. Equip any unlocked attachments on that weapon platform found near buy stations. Active duty operator slots. Select from 3 different operators when deploying to DMZ, each with their own inventory, backpack, play carrier, kill streak, self revive, and gas mask. Decide. That's kind of cool. New factions, missions, and bosses. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. That's kind of cool. It's a very casual, semi-casual. It's semi-casual because if you do die, you lose everything. So it's not super casual, but it's basically their take on Escape from Tarkov. I thought it was kind of fun. Is it as good as Tarkov? No, because I do kind of wish that when you brought stuff back, there was a whole barter system where you could sell stuff to buy like different gear and everything. It doesn't really work that way. It's a little bit different. I'm happy they're still updating it and giving it a try. So I would like to jump in maybe this new season and see what's new and what they've added. I didn't check it out all season 2, so I have no idea. Other than that, just I think the most exciting part of this entire thing is their fact that they're bringing the OG intervention back to Call of Duty. I'm fucking excited. It's the FJX Imperium sniper rifle. I can't begin to tell you how excited. Like, I think this is the only sniper rifle I'm going to care about in the game because the intervention is what made Modern Warfare 2 what it is to this day. It is the 360 no scope sniper that made it all come true. So this is exciting. I'm very excited for this to come. I can't believe they finally brought it back. I thought they're going to bring it back in 2019. They didn't. So I'm happy to see it's finally here. I love the intervention. This is literally the intervention. I can't wait. And the other thing, there's a new battle rifle. Cool. But yeah, that seems to be all the new updates from what I could tell. There's some exclusive PlayStation crap that's coming out. Cool for them. Yeah, I think that's it. Offering, yeah. And I guess they're adding like a new bundle to get the battle pass where you can get like a cool skin, some COD points, and a bonus to your battle pass. So cool beans. Other than that, I think this is a pretty good update. I find this a lot better than the last 2 updates. The last 2 updates were very mediocre at best for me because they were just basically reworked maps from classic games and none of it was actually new, other than season 2 did add 1 brand new core map that was actually new and not just a remade map. So this season seems like they're actually adding a lot of, in my opinion, original maps. So that has me a little bit more excited. So what about you, Mike? When are you gonna check out this Call of Duty game that you haven't played since before season 1?
Never. All right, moving on.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. It sounds really good. I'm like Logan went through and detailed a bunch of the stuff, so I hope the Call of Duty community is happy out there. I will eventually play it. I do want to play it. It just seems like in the lulls that we have, I want to kind of like just reset and watch some TV, just relax a little bit, before I dive into the next 30, 40 hour gaming experience that I have. So
you can relax playing some good old Call of Duty,
When the fuck has Call of Duty ever been relaxing?
Well, we don't have to play Warzone constantly. We could play like more casual stuff like Plunder when it comes out this new season. Or I would love for you to try DMZ. DMZ is really fun. It's not super casual, but it also isn't as hardcore as Warzone is, where you have to be like on your feet constantly with like listening and everything. DMZ is a lot more chill because it's like a lot more bots, but you can find players and kill them if you choose to do so. It's not like you have to be the last one to survive. You just have to get gear and extract. That's the whole point of it.
You want to hear a funny story?
What?
I think it was a Wednesday. I was hanging out at the house, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ask Logan if he wants to play Call of Duty tonight.
Yeah.
And I went to the gym instead.
Someday, guys. Can we get a comment down below to tell Mike play Warzone 2, please? Hashtag Mike play Warzone 2. That's what we need.
You're gonna get a comment that say you're a nerd. You need to quit playing Warzone. All right. That was all we have for you on Around the Point. Hope everyone's excited out there. Let us know down below what you think about Star Wars Celebration and the return of Mary Sue. Let us know if you jumped in the Resident Evil 4. Like I said, we'll get our review out to you as soon as we can sit down and record that. Also, what do you think of Sony's new handheld? Kind of sucks. Last but not least, let us know if you have enough room to download and install Star Wars Jedi Survivor, or if you have to clear out some of your porn folders to make it work. So we'll be interested to know. Let us know down below what you guys think. We're gonna go now to the final two things on the episode. First up is LTR, and I realized I made a big old mess up and forgot to add some stuff. So we're gonna skip over Meet Your Maker that I originally planned to talk about because I apparently forgot to do it. So my bad on anyone out there who's really excited to hear the reviews for Meet Your Maker. It has a 76 on OpenCritic and a 75 on Metacritic. There you go.
That's about what I was expecting. So,
but there's this weird thing that there's only 8 scored reviews on Metacritic. So I think I was waiting for more reviews to come in, and then I just forgot to fill it out.
Oh.
So that's on me. So we're gonna go right to the second one, which is not a video game. Well, it is a video game. But this is not the game. This is the movie.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive into the Super Mario Brothers the movie scores. It has a 55 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 47 on Metacritic, with 16 positive, 20 mixed, and 12 negative. Interesting to note, the Metacritic score 96 audience score. So interesting to note there. All right.
It's definitely a bit of a split.
IGN gave the game. That's wrong. Gave the movie an 8 out of 10. Said the Super Mario Brothers movie is a fireball of animated fantasy. Mario, Luigi, and Peach's adventure delights with its infectious energy and smart implementations of video game callbacks, and the top-shelf animation renders the Mushroom Kingdom as an Oz-like wonderland that begs to be explored in the inevitable sequels that will follow. The assembled voice cast puts a unique spin on each of their characters, but undercooked emotional arcs don't get the same attention as the aesthetics. Something not helped by a paint-by-the-numbers plot that bafflingly keeps Mario and Luigi away from each other for half the movie. Illumination and Nintendo set out to deliver a Mario movie that anybody could enjoy and that anybody with even a passing knowledge of the game could get lost in. They've undeniably succeeded on both fronts. So that was a gaming outlet. I actually was kind of clever with how I did this. Now let's go to a movie and gaming outlet. Screen Rant gave the game a 6 out of 10 and said the Super Mario Bros. Movie is perfect for die-hard fans of the Nintendo brand or those who have fond memories of playing the Mario games during their childhood. But anyone without the love for Mario can skip this movie. It's not the next Lego movie, which transcended its IP to tell a well-developed and compelling story for all ages. Though the Super Mario Bros. Movie has jokes that are no doubt for its adult audience, and it moves quickly enough to hold the attention of most viewers. It's not necessarily a strong or must-see movie. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is cute, candy-colored, Nintendo nostalgic-driven fun, and is ultimately a largely enjoyable film, even though it's lacking in story and substance. And now let's go to an actual movie reviewer. The New York Times gave the movie a 3 out of 10 and said, while the details are meticulous, the attitude is all wrong, trading the simple, unaffected charm that has served the character so well since its introduction in 1981 for the snarky and fatuous air that leans hard on winking humor and bland, hackneyed irony. First of all, that guy is trying way too hard to show that he has an English degree, all right? I almost have an English degree,
He's got
too.
that,
He's got that thesaurus working. That thesaurus working. All right, you gonna make fun of my stutter now?
Hey, come on, you make fun of me all the time. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
You're easy to make fun of. So, all right, what do you think about
fair.
the scores? Are literally all over the place. 16 positive, 20 mixed, 12 negative. The scores are every which way that you can come up with. So, what do you think overall about how this movie has been recipiated?
Okay. Well, they could definitely tell that critics are probably being a little too tough on it because clearly, fans are loving it a lot. I mean, as you said, there's what 96 on audience score, and there's a 47 as for the critics and everything. That's a huge split, which tells you a lot. I'm very curious, though. I do want to go see this movie. I don't really give a crap what these people say, which also, obviously, I recommend to all people out there. Never just fully look at critics' reviews and just expect that. Put your own opinion first. Or maybe if you like someone and they're not a critic and they give you your opinion, trust them more than critics, in my opinion. I would still just recommend you see it yourself. But I am still excited to go see this movie. I want to go see it. Now this makes my life really difficult because I still want to go see John Wick 4, and now I have to see this. And this is the first time in like probably 2 years where I've had two movies at the same time come out that I want to go see really badly. It's been really nice lately where it's like one movie comes out, okay, got a couple months to the next movie comes out. Now I have two movies that came out within the same time span. I know John Wick's been out for 2 weeks now, I think. So it means I probably should go see John Wick first and then go see Super Mario Bros. Because I don't know when John Wick 4 is going to go out of theaters. But I mean, hey, Puss in Boots was in theaters for like 2 months. So I should have went to go see that movie too.
Interesting to note, Rotten Tomatoes just crashed my computer almost. Everything failed on me. So I was trying to pull up all the audience stuff, and just Chrome said, I gotta go, bro. All right, so yeah, Mario movie is up to 56 on the tomato meter, but yeah, 96% on the audience score, and over on Metacritic, 47 on the Metascore, and an 8.6 on the user score. So yeah, slight difference between how it's being received.
I definitely do still, yeah. I'm pretty excited for it. I had a feeling critics probably weren't gonna love this, but I don't know. I I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird because I think the last it's Illumination, right? Or that's how you say it?
Yeah, it's the same guys that did
Yeah, the Gru. Yeah, Life of Gru, I think
maybe.
was the last movie they made.
I was gonna say like they do this Despicable Me movies and the Minion movies.
Yeah, and then the last one they came out with was Life of Gru. Sure. It was when he was young. Amy said she liked it, and I think actually critically it scored better than this movie. So that's kind of weird. I guess they were expecting this movie to be different. I don't know. I was fully expecting that Illumination kind of comedy and stuff. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this movie. I can't wait to see it for myself. Obviously, we know our critical opinion of the fact that we don't really care for Chris Pratt as Mario. I think he's the only voice actor out of all of them that like I just don't think really fits very well with this character. But I guess they may have changed his voice a little bit, but that doesn't make me not want to go see it because it looks cool and it seems interesting, and especially artistically and visually, it looks insanely impressive. So I do want to go see it.
Yeah, it's like I'm seeing it Sunday, so I'll let you guys know next week what I think about it. All right, the rest of the games that came out this week: Everspace 2 got an 83, EA Sports PGA Tour got an 80, Curse of the Sea Rats got a 66, Grimoire Once More, which is still a terrible name, 79, Road 96 Mile Zero 68, and then Paparazzi, the official Switch port. No scores yet, but 73 when it first released. Same as Batora Lost Heaven or Switch port. No scores, 69. Nice. When it first got released. All right. And that's your week.
Well.
Anything you have to say on the rest of these?
No, but glad to see Paparazzi. It didn't score as bad as we expected, but hey, I mean, on Steam again, a lot of people are like 10 out of 10, super good. So, yeah.
I don't think this game's a 10 out of 10. And I'm
no,
not.
It's not.
But I guess
puppies.
I guess I shouldn't prejudge
dogs.
I do love dogs. All right.
Yeah.
Out this week, we have a banger of a week for you guys coming up. On April 11th, Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened remake on PS5 for Xbox Series S and S, Switch, and PC. Then Tron Identity on Switch and PC. On April 12th, Ghostwire Tokyo sees its release on Xbox Series X and S and Game Pass. And April 14th, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, PS4, Switch, and PC. So it sounds like we get to keep playing Resident Evil 4 for a little bit longer. But no, all jokiness.
Identity. Why is it only on Switch and PC? What?
It might be a port. I don't know. I don't look up if these are
maybe.
ports or not. I just read the document and put it in there. I don't care. But Ghostwire Tokyo coming to Game Pass.
That's cool. I might actually try that game out at some point. Maybe I'll download it on PC. Why not? Fuck it.
You can.
Maybe I'll try it on. Yeah. Mega Man though. It did look kind of cool, but I don't think I'm gonna play it. Probably not. Till I don't know. Probably never.
You don't seem like a Mega Man guy.
No. I mean, but this game looked a little bit different. It wasn't the normal Mega Man. It's like the Mega Man, but like more like turn-based. So, but yeah,
you're not a turn-based guy.
That's not true. I like Persona. Get out of here.
You're like the best turn-based JRPG of all time.
Okay, exactly. Right? Exactly. So therefore, I also am very excited for Advance Wars to come out, which is on my list, but not only because it's on there, but I actually did play it on the Game Boy when I was a kid, and that game looks pretty damn awesome. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't like the worst week we've ever gotten, but it also isn't exciting. So, yeah.
It's pretty do-nothing week, so.
Yeah, exactly. We have more time. And you know what that means, Mike?
Nope.
Wars
2. Yeah. Gotta play Mercenaries mode some more. Gotta get that hand cannon.
That's true. I actually do gotta do Persona. Or not. Why did I say Persona? I gotta do RE4 Mercenaries. Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who has been watching or listening, sorry we ran a little long this week, but we talked about Star Wars, so of course we ran long. So we just want to take this time, as always, to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're trying to do. But please help us to continue to grow by telling everyone out there that you know who even has a slight appreciation for all things pop culture, that they have some new friends waiting to talk all sorts of fandoms with them. We would greatly appreciate it, as always. Mr. Birdman, any last words?
Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate every one of you coming by to listen to the XP podcast. I hope this was a pretty good week. We had a lot of exciting things to talk about, in my opinion. Some things we might, as Mike said, we may have stuck around a little too long, but it's Star Wars. As you can tell, we're kind of fans of Star Wars, especially, I got my little headset here. So trust me, we're kind of a little bit of fans.
For audio listeners, he just showed off his headset, which is a Mandalorian headset.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy that you guys. Hopefully, you guys stuck by. Hopefully, you listen. If you are listening this far, I especially want to say thank you for listening this entire way through. But also just, even if you cut through and you find really good moments, I'm just happy that you're finding at least some of our content very interesting, and that makes both me and Mike very happy. But yeah, and especially if you want to give us a like and a subscribe or comment down below, and especially if you want to comment down if you have any criticisms, maybe things that you think we could fix or anything, or, maybe you want to give us a dislike because maybe we said something that may have not, but obviously comment down below and let us know. Maybe we said something wrong. But also, I would like to shout out our Patreon Platinum member, Logan Leffler, not me, but a different guy, Logan Leffler. I do want to shout out his support each and every month. We do appreciate you giving us not only just support by subscribing to our channel, but also giving us some money every month. Again, you don't have to do this. We're not expecting everyone to do this. We're just happy that you guys stop by and listen. But if you do want to give us a quick $1 every month or so, we do have our Patreon link down below. We do appreciate your support each and every month. We are actually giving out extra content for having those higher tiers in the Patreon thing. So if you do want to listen to more of us every month, we will have that up there. So yeah, other than that, I'm going to bring it back to Mike, and then we'll be saying our goodbyes.
Once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us. This has been another episode of the XP Podcast, brought to you by The Experience Point. I hope everyone has a great week, and as always, unless something really bad happens, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Adios.